Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast.
Coming to you out of SideQuest Studios, this is the Simpsons Index, episode 298. Hello out there, I'm your host, Elliot J. O'Neill, joined, here as always, except when he's not, by BT Calloway.
Oh, hoi hoi.
And from the band Jack R. Reilly, it's Jack R. Reilly.
Hi! Don't know why I did that, I'm so sorry.
Because we're in the key of C today, for the Simpsons Index.
I will leave.
I know. And also joined by the hottest and hundreds and thousands crew, it is Nathan Harrison.
Hello.
Adam Buncher.
Hi.
And David James Young, DJY.
Wait, if this is the Simpsons Index, episode 298, and you're our host, Elliot J. O'Neill,
Mm-hmm.
and that's BC Calloway,
That's correct.
and that's Jack O'Reilly,
From Jack R. Reilly, yeah.
and that's Nathan Harrison,
From
Correct.
Nathan Harrison.
Yep.
and that's Adam Buncher.
There are a lot of people here, huh?
Yeah.
Then who the hell is flying this plane?
Oh!
Kaboom.
Cut to the cockpit where there's a minion or something.
That's the noise I assume they make.
You could be right.
Banana!
None of us have
they
seen the
talking
fucking
about-
movie.
I've seen a couple of them.
Have you? Because it sounds like you haven't.
Don't they all go banana? It's all like nonsense noises, isn't
But
it?
what key are they in?
Oh, that's a great question.
Songs in the key of Minion. Yeah, let's get that album.
I reckon that'll be about an A, like I don't know. You'd have to ask. I think it's Jermaine Clement who does all those silly noises.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they just get him to do normal like blah 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 blah, and then like they pitch him up to go blah 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 blah.
He doesn't do any of the pitching himself. He just speaks totally normally,
Yeah.
total normal gibberish, and then they do what they want. with it.
Yeah, exactly.
He has a pitch guy.
Yeah,
writing
yeah. Comedically pitched up.
That's so weird. He's just in the booth. Like it'd be him going like blah 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 blah.
Someone's on a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like
So you're saying
that's
if
what
you-
they want.
Pitch the minions down and slow it down a bit. It's just like,
King Bob.
Horatio, I knew him well.
Oh my god, I would watch that. That's what Despicable Me 5 needs to be. Just like
I just
they're all
realised I meant
thespians
Yorick.
now.
Well, we're here to talk about a different yellow people.
Can we talk about literally anything else?
No.
That was a nice segue.
It's a very good segue.
Thank you.
I'm just very much in the mood to not talk about what we just experienced.
Like, I mean, have we ever been any time I've brought my great friends here for this podcast and then subjected you to whatever this fucking slop is?
Hey, look, no, we've watched some good shit.
We have.
watched A Streetcar Named Marge.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, can we watch that again? Yeah. Oh, we also watched Shut the Fuck Up, Marge.
Yeah.
And I think we were all saying Badger My Ass. It's probably Millhouse for like 3
Yes.
weeks non-stop after that.
Still a
we
good
have had,
bit.
yeah, we had good times. We had good times. Today wasn't one of them, but we've had good times.
Jack, you wanted to rattle off some notes out of context before I get into the episode
Oh, here we
preamble?
go. Okay.
Please allow me to do so. I'll start from the top. Get fucked. Fuck off.
I liked when Marge said that. That was fun.
That's so insane. They done this. Jesus fuck.
Jesus fuck.
These are your notes. These are what you wrote down.
Columno. They're trying.
Oh,
OMFG. Oh my fucking god.
two different
Are they
notes.
trying? And that's the end. Thank you. This has been the Simpsons.
All right, let's rank this fucking thing.
Yes.
All right, let's get into this fucking thing. This was season 32, episode 15. Do pizza pots dream of electric guitars? Actually, I shouldn't have even... they didn't even put a question mark in there.
They didn't.
No. So that's not how it's pronounced. Whatever. First released in March of 2021, it was directed by Jennifer Moeller, written by Michael Price. In this episode, it's the 90s again, and this time Homer's a kid that's into hip-hop. And he works at Gil Gunderson's pizza restaurant that has animatronics and stuff. And Homer breathes new life into the restaurant, making them do hip-hop songs instead of those old Bill Haley songs. Anyway, they get seized in an FBI sting, and then the family help Homer recover these robots to solve this trauma, but J.J. Abrams steals them. So comic book guy teaches him how to be a troll so he can stop the movie about them happening. Is that broad strokes? Is that like the
You
synopsis?
are very accurate.
I think he did
That's
very
the
well.
thing, and I feel like the listener understands now.
Yeah, hearing that again felt bad.
Jack's notes make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, what do we think?
Imagine being a year into a life-ending global pandemic and then asking yourself the question, how could things get any worse?
I think it would be more the question of, maybe we deserve this. Maybe we have a pandemic coming.
Yeah. Were there any, like, Homer makes banana bread episodes? Like, did they, like, rush any of that shit
They
out?
got one, but not quite.
Homer meets Tiger King. That feels like something they do now. It's just like, Joe Exotic, what are you doing
in
here?
Springfield?
Yeah.
God, they literally had one of those moments in this episode. But
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that.
It was just a real, like, not much of an idea executed badly.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like it was a lot of work to get the concept across about like J.J. Abrams ruining everyone's childhood or whatever. And that's not, it wasn't worth it.
No.
Like, it was just like everything was such a reach, but like the story didn't feel good or do anything or be interesting.
And then they're trying to sort of give the impression that it's the audience's fault for
Yeah.
it being bad.
How do you feel about that?
Well, it just was like they're going like, no, it's not us that ruined the movie. It's you that don't like it anymore because your childhood sucked on its own. And then it's like, okay, how like formative have the Simpsons been to my childhood? And what are you doing to them? Look how you massacred my boy. Like,
yeah, that meta level, that's not good.
that's real bad.
But this was 2021, was it?
yes.
So
Good year.
what was it like? Because Rise of Skywalker was 2019. Is there a recent, like, obviously JJ just did a lot of reboots or whatever, but it doesn't feel like it's attached to anything for so specific. It was really like, I imagine maybe JJ was like, oh, I'd be up for being in an episode. And they were like, cool, what can we build around that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one or two guest stars of this episode, we got J.J. Abrams playing J.J. Abrams. And,
Such a Nepo dad. He's only famous because he's Gracie Abrams' dad. Like,
oh, yeah. Who?
oh, of course, I'm talking to a room of 35-year-olds.
I just
You
turned
don't know
40.
world-famous platinum-selling pop star Gracie Abrams.
Well, she's not on Smooth
that?
FM, so I...
Yeah.
But he is, though. And, like, not to, like, you know, we don't need to get into, like, Star Wars, the sequel trilogy or whatever. But, like, when Rian Johnson made The Last Jedi or whatever, and he subverted all these things, and one of the core things in that movie is that anyone could be a Jedi.
Yeah.
JJ comes back in. JJ comes from a long, storied history of Hollywood family. Like, he is old Hollywood money.
Yeah.
Right.
And so for him, the idea that, like, anyone can do this is not nearly as, like, incredible as a story as, no, you're part of a special family. That's why you have magic powers. Like... He's a piece of shit, but like he is like that is him. Like that's not really what this episode is about, but it's important.
Are you saying his daughter is like the girl Skywalker? Like,
Yes. But you should have been the Jedi. But J.J. Abrams doesn't want you to be a Jedi. He only wants his kids to be Jedi.
Yeah,
I kind of want that on a shirt. J.J. Abrams doesn't want you to be a Jedi.
That's so true, and only Gen Z listeners will get that.
But yeah, JJ also brought along his mate Greg Grunberg as their head of security, and I didn't
Isn't
know
that the girl who's protesting climate change?
Yeah.
Come on, give me something.
That had a solemn. Good.
Political.
I don't want to be. I'm not a chin stroking comedian, guys.
You
Like,
just
it's
were,
not-
though.
Yeah, I don't want to be someone you hear and go, "Oh, that's funny." No, just
What
laugh.
a grand wit.
Don't you hate pants?
Yeah, that's what I'm after.
All right, let's fucking hook into this thing. BT, kick it off. For better or worse, what stands out to you?
One is just, if I were to ask the writers of this episode, what is this episode about? I feel like they couldn't answer me because we
God.
start with like a whole thing about, Homer's big chance to kind of make it as a DJ is setting up these robots, but then the plot becomes, no, he's attached to these robots and he wants his friends back when they were never his friends. And it was like, okay, maybe we're going to have a reveal moment where it's like, Dad, don't you realize it wasn't the robots, it was your chance that you missed. But we don't do that. Instead, we get in this whole, how dare you update movies in a way we don't like. J.J. Abrams is a genius and your lack of worship for him is wrong and you are wrong for not liking things.
Yeah.
And just, a lot of this I could have ignored, but the lack of coherent structure or the massive left turn into just, because Disney owns Star Wars now, so, it was an easy get to be like, how do we make one of our commodities look better and you look bad for not loving it?
Yeah, and look, this is getting to the core of what I hate about J.J. Abrams in this episode. It's pretending it's doing this gentle ribbing thing, but it is sucking his dick in way bigger ratio than it's like having a playful rib.
They know how to pick him. Like, didn't they do an episode where they did the same thing to Elon Musk?
Oh.
Like, before he was, like, mega, Trump famous, etc.?
Yeah, and the Michael Jackson episode's the one we can't watch anymore.
Yeah.
And yet the fucking Elon Musk one remains.
Yeah.
B.J. Abrams.
Hey! How did that get a bigger laugh than my jokes? Fucking...
Well, yours was a thinker.
Yeah.
It's just a goddamn popularity contest with you people.
I love saying that at the end of every Hottest 100 of just going, it's a goddamn popularity contest.
Bloody right, this show.
How about you, DJ Y? What stands out to you from this thing?
Oh, you know what? The literal first thing that I thought of, I had to go onto famous website, wikipedia.org, to find this quote.
I've heard it. I've kicked in $1.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I've done my part.
Thank you for your support. It is a quote about an episode I'm sure you've talked about, The Principal and the Pauper.
Sure have.
And it is a quote from Harry Shearer talking about that episode and like the retconning and saying, it's like they're punishing people for paying attention.
Yes.
And if I had $1 for every time I've been on this podcast talking about a retcon where the 90s were different to how they were originally portrayed in the 90s, I'd have $2. Which isn't a lot of money, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
It's almost like someone planned this.
So
we are like the flashback, right, is taking place when the actual show started. So like Ice Ice Baby, he's got a Humpty Dance poster on the wall. That's 1990.
Yep.
But he's drinking Crystal Pepsi, which didn't come out until 1992. So it's just trying to be like vaguely like, oh, it could be the late 80s. It could be the early 90s. Who knows? Nirvana doesn't exist, apparently, because...
Well, no, because Homer would...
Homer would be, fronting Sadgasm or whatever the fuck it was called. Like... How many times are we going to do this? Like, is it going to be a thing where it's just like, we get to like season 45 and Homer's just like, oh, I remember being a college student and watching the towers come down.
That's when I was on the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah. While 75-year-old Nancy Cartwright is just like, oh, jeez, middle school's really tough. Oh, God. And then Julie Kavner said...
Julie Kavner will say, I love you, Homer.
Yeah.
Look, if you really want to fuck with the timescale, a kid is wearing a Bart Simpson t-shirt before Bart was born. In this episode, so...
Oh, fuck.
Never try to understand time in The Simpsons. Yeah, it's in one of the crowd shots.
I can pay that.
No, because I kind of thought... I actually had that as one of my notes of, like... I can't believe they're trying to construct the 90s without The Simpsons existing in this. And I was like, this sucks. And then I saw the shirt and I was like, oh, no, they're referencing it. This sucks even worse.
Right.
So, Jack, just to clarify, which note was that? Was that Oh My Fucking God?
No, that was their...
No, it was OMFG.
Yeah, right.
How about you, Adam? What stands out to you from this one?
I'm going to, pick up on what you were kind of talking about, Deej. It's just this idea of there being no causality and no history.
Yeah.
And it was exactly what you're talking about. Like, someone just doesn't simply be really into hip-hop and then completely kind of forget about that. And it just seems so strange to see Homer so immersed in that world so passionately.
Don't you remember the Mr. Plow rap?
I'll pay that. I will pay that. Like,
he'll move your car if you have one.
Yeah, so, Matt Selman, who's, one of the lead showrunners now, has frequently gone on Twitter to argue with people about this and the whole wibbly-wobbly timey-wiminess of The Simpsons now.
Really?
And he's just he's basically of the opinion now that, oh, don't get so in a huff. It doesn't change the old episodes. These are taking place in a time bubble where this happens. Which is one thing, but also The Simpsons wasn't that thing. And,
yeah, that's right.
they do shit like these days. Like they've had 2 like sequel Pin Pal episodes where the lineup of the Pin Pals has just been completely different without any explanation. And sort of similar to this, where it's like, okay, well, if you're gonna like do these retcons of the past, then make an episode that kind of justifies it. Like,
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. In this one, they have Mo show up with no explanation of who Mo is, so they want you to remember the show. But also, stop remembering the show, you idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly.
that's the thing. It's like there is some lineage, but there is also just like absolutely not. Also, just everyone just saying everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, a joke is just saying... They forgot that humor operates by setting something up and then doing something unexpected. They set something up and then they say something... I'm probably, like, giving, like, absolute ice-cold takes for someone who's watched a lot of modern Simpsons, because I just absolutely haven't. And so this is all kind of new. This is all kind of new to me. But, like... This whole way of writing where they like are just absolutely saying everything, and all the jokes are just kind of like them just literally saying things out loud.
And you know what fucks me up as well? They leave pauses for laughs when there absolutely are none. Yeah. Like, they're just about to go to commercial or whatever, and there's just this tiny little second, like couple of seconds, that everything is still there, and it's just still, and you're just... I could hear death in the fucking room when we were watching this.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Like, genuinely one of the most, like, laugh-free experiences. Like, I think we laughed more when we all went to see There Will Be Blood together. Genuinely.
Well, come on. He drank his milkshake.
I mean, that's true. That's very true.
But the last time we watched a really recent episode, there were a couple of laughs. This felt really...
No, look, in general, the 30s have been better than the 20s, and I was holding hope that this would be the case, but this isn't a good example. Like, actually, I forgot, this is what we usually lead off the podcast with our returning champions. Has anyone kept up with The Simpsons? Like, gone to check out new episodes? Or...
Yeah, last season I watched some, and it was fine, but I was not enjoying it. It's not like I was going like, oh, yes, let's get ready to watch a Simpsons episode. It was... background television.
Yep.
And I think that's where the show currently falls apart. When you like break it down and like try to review it, it's like, oh, this is not good. But like as a thing you put on, like it's fine.
Yeah. I've only watched it when like things I'm interested in have been like involved in it.
Yeah.
Like I remember like Kyle Gordon, like who's like one of my kind of current favorite comedians, like when they had him on like a year after like DJ Crazy Times was like the viral hit, and like I'm just like, fuck, that's gonna be awful. I need to see the context of this. So I watched that episode, and I remember I say a few years ago, and then I realized, oh, this is probably a really fucking long time ago. It was an episode where Bart went on a cruise. Steve Coogan was a guest star, and the opening sequence was set to Boy From School by Hot Chip, and I remember them posting about it and being like, oh, we were on an episode, like, Childhood Dream. We got to be on The Simpsons this week. And I'm just like, oh, that's cool. I'll check out that episode. So, like, only when things, like, extenuating circumstances is the term I'm looking for. That is the only time I've watched New Simpsons.
And one Elliot J. O'Neill.
Yeah. When this guy motherfucking Clockwork Oranges us.
Can I talk about a few things in particular that cause me like pain?
Please.
Like actual pain?
Yeah, Bunch, let him know!
Yeah. And this goes back to like the causality thing that I was talking about, and not having any memory of the classic era Simpsons. But when he was doing his trolling in his trolling phase, and he's sitting there, we had that kind of strange like time lapse or whatever. There was a moment before he got started where he slapped a small photo of the animatronic gang on his laptop and said, "Do it for them." Right? And like that's a reference to one of the most beautiful and heartfelt moments of The Simpsons that gives you such amazing catharsis that Homer's only showing up for this soul-sucking job because he loves his daughter that much that he's willing to sacrifice himself for that. And just that, even as a passing reference, the stark contrast between the two of them, and to just to strip away the sentimentality in that way, actually, that caused me pain. Yeah. That hurt.
Oh, and it's like, again, another argument against what Matt Selman says, because it's like, well, you have selective memory. Like, you have memory when you want it.
Yeah. Can I quickly interject with not an observation about the episode, but an observation about us watching the episode?
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Comic book guy says, it's called trolling. And I turn over and I look Nathan Harrison in the eye, and he has aged 100 years.
Yeah. I actually watching Nathan during the watching of this episode was actually
Just
my
like
favorite part of the
the color
episode.
went out of his face. And he comments Nathan.
It just felt bad.
It's like how you see like those clips from those Japanese shows where there's just always like a small video picture-in-picture of one person watching the comedy show and laughing along with it. That's what New Simpsons need. Just Nathan staring at it and just
like,
So what you're saying is it's like when people watched people watching the Red Wedding.
yeah.
we need Gogglebox, but it's just Nathan watching New Simpsons.
The other thing that hurt was right at the end where Homer has the real like look to camera realization. It's like, oh, this wasn't traumatic, but my relationship to my dad was the thing that was really traumatic.
Yeah.
The whole time. Yeah. And it's done in such a like flippant kind of way, whereas like there's real substance between the relationship that Homer had with his father. And then for like Lisa to then comment, oh yeah, because you're a shitty father as well to Homer as well. Like that should hold weight, and the fact that it didn't
Nothing means anything.
I know.
They're going for like the anti-heart, as we call it sometimes, and it just it hasn't earned the point of getting it, because it usually works with subversion in terms of it's like I watched the Otto Show episode recently, and it ends with the whole, why did you play guitar anymore? It's like, well, I'll tell you what, Dad, I wasn't good at it immediately, so I gave up. And he gives that whole speech of like, that's fine, we'll put it in the closet along
if
with
something's hard to do,
your
it's
karate.
not worth doing.
And this, what's on TV? It doesn't matter. That's a great little anti-heart moment, but this just hasn't earned that point.
Well, no, because it's taken such a diversion from Homer and Abe's relationship, and it just spends so much time sucking J.J. Abram off that the episode does lose meaning. And like, weirdly enough, the part that I was enjoying the episode much was in the retcon past, and like there was a point of me that was like, oh, are they doing this for the whole episode? Okay.
I was the same way. I'm like, are we going to stay here? Because I'm kind of on board with that. The only way, how do you tell new
Making
stories?
all these jokes and references that your audience will not get.
Yeah, but at least it's telling, how do you tell a story in a show this old? Well, you can go to different periods of time, especially the past of, older characters, and just explore that for a
young
while.
Kirk was also working at the pizza. Like, there was potential there. We could have seen...
They motherfucking...
Could have done
I
Party
just wanted
Down.
to see young Luann Van Houten. Oh,
Just
baby.
do Party Down, but in the 90s pizza animatronics restaurant. That's better.
Hey, but
We having a good time or what?
They've done Chuck. Are we having fun yet? Is what you're trying to say. But they've done Chuck E. Cheese as a joke before.
Yeah, you're the birthday
You're
boy
the
or
birthday
girl.
boy or
Go,
girl.
yeah.
That is so fucking funny.
Non-binary recognition.
Senor Beaverotti. I cannot stress that enough.
Justice for Beaverotti.
So they went from going, you're the birthday boy or girl, hilarious fucking joke, to slice baby.
Yeah, boy.
And also, just on Deej's point
Sauce out to your pizza.
Oh, gosh. And just Deej talking about Pepsi Crystal being in the episode and stuff. He also had a Discman with like a portable CD that he had burnt in 1990.
Oh, yeah. Like,
No.
what? Like, shouldn't he had a cassette?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I get to you yet, Nathan? What stands out to you for better or worse?
It's just all bad. But, like, I just think, like, the chunks of it, like, it's like, oh, this is about, like, a failed dream or something, but it doesn't feel like that. Then there's a whole sequence about people being worried about Homer, but, like, it's not anything there. And then, obviously, when we get to JJ, it's terrible. It sucks that, like, Gil being there is such a nothing thing as well. Like, this, if you weren't, obviously, putting all of your eggs in the sucking off JJ basket... You would probably have an interesting new character as the manager of this pizza place in the 90s. And that could have been fun. But instead, it's just like, oh, it's the same Gil joke that we've had for 25
now with
years at this point.
cocaine. Like, there's a new character wrinkle.
That doesn't feel like that's not Gil. It didn't need to be Gil. Like, just make up someone else that's like a bit skeezy. That would have been a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Leave Gil alone. He earned that wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn.
And then you can get an actual celebrity to voice that new character, and you get the really delightful moment of like, oh, it's not them being inserted into the Simpsons world, but they're still, as they used to do in the old Simpsons, I guess.
Yeah, who would be like a skeezy, like, who would play like a good skeezy, like, restaurant manager that hasn't already done a guest voice on The
Iggy
Simpsons?
Pop.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
That's fun. I was kind of seeing as we were talking about Party Down, the kind of skeezy manager from Party Down.
Oh,
true.
Ken Marino? Fuck yeah.
Fuck yes, I love Ken Marino.
Yeah.
Has he done a voice on the show?
I'm sure he has at this
sooner or later,
stage.
sure.
What about Adam Scott? Has he been on the show?
I actually don't think so.
I
What
can't
about
wait
Jane Lynch?
Yeah. Oh, that was a bad episode. She rapes Homer.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah, well, maybe rape's a bit strong, but definitely sexually inappropriate and harasses
pegs.
him. Yeah.
Jesus. Wow.
Jack, what, we got your broad strokes notes before, but anything specific stand out to you from this one?
Yeah, just everything that was set up just didn't have any sort of payoff whatsoever. One thing that also stood out for me is they really tried to push the heart in some situations out of nowhere. Like it kind of felt like they were pulling the music up really hard and it would swell up and then just fucking end and nothing would happen. Just caca. Just sucked.
One thing that really stood out for me. Sorry, I'm jumping back in again.
Yeah,
But in terms of like where we're pitching the intelligence of the audience, it was the gag of "I wonder who Mum's calling." That was awful.
Yeah, and it's like not even that. Just pitching who is the audience, and this is a question that
So
I've heard
true.
Deej ask many times. Of like,
Yeah.
who is this for?
I honestly don't, like, our kids watch it? I don't know.
Look, we've gone over this many times. A lot of people do give us, like, no, it's for a new generation. That's why you guys don't get the humor. And but they're making Crystal Pepsi jokes.
Exactly.
Like, we maintain it is for podcasters.
Yeah.
So what was really interesting though was this deals with the idea of reboots, right? And Jack, you kind of said flippantly at the end of watching the episode, like, when is the Simpsons reboot coming? You know, and I feel like that is a really interesting, because what we've had is this strange kind of continuation, right? And one of the questions that I kind of had was like the difference that we see in the later seasons compared to the earlier ones. Was there like a really huge schism, like when you're watching Twin Peaks, when all of a sudden Lynch leaves and it's like, this is a very different show suddenly, or was it more gradual?
Well, let me just pull up the old spreadsheet on the Simpsons Index.
Have you been tracking this episode by episode or something?
When do you think, like, to borrow a phrase from Community, was there like a gas leak year? Like, because Matt's never left the show, has he?
No.
Like, was there a
there's
year where like Sam Simon and like John Swartzwelder and all that shit like left, or did everyone just kind of leave like bit by bit?
Well, there's my line graph of the average season rankings there. And, peak Zirconia hovering seasons, that's the time of our
Great
life.
for an audio podcast.
Big drop at season 9.
Yeah, 9 is a jump.
And then it's holding steady until
And then
12, and then massive plunk, and then we're just... But then it
Okay.
picks up again at the 30s, but yeah, we are
But I guess in terms of
still hovering around, like, mid-teens level quality.
my questions were on the tone and the way that they treat the audience in terms of the way that they structure jokes and the way that they structure character, and this kind of like, again, the only way I can phrase it is the saying everything out loud tendency. Did that happen suddenly?
I'm going to say that's probably gradual. I mean, there are definitely moments we've pointed to in the past, and I think Jockey Elves is really the one I point to of being... having
like
a
chicken jockey or like
No, it's worse.
Oh wow!
Please don't trash the studio, man.
I was this close.
No, it's an episode that starts off, relatively normal wacky of Bart and Homer get a racehorse. Sure, why not? But then eventually it gets revealed that all the other jockeys are actually elves
yes.
who try to sabotage them.
I've seen that one.
And it's just a hard pivot in terms of just the kind of wackiness and just the logic of the show. That's always stood out to me as being, this is a turning point
moment.
to something else.
Yeah, people blame the Mike Scully era. That's like season 9 till 12 of being a bit more of a sketch show and being a bit like, that's where really they had a lot of first act fuck yous. But then, Al Jean takes the helm from season 13 onwards. And then I think you get more of a gradual shift into, this guy's just pumping out the shows. Like,
Because I'm wondering whether there would, like, what that alternative universe is, where instead of this continuation, there was a break, a gap, and then The Simpsons was brought back.
Oh,
and
I think-
what that would have allowed for, and how that would have been different, and what possibilities that could have then created. Like, it's actually a really interesting thought experiment.
Oh no, it totally would have been rebooted by now. So it's like, which universe do we rather live in?
Oh, do
what
you
a-
reckon
what
they
a
would have like
possibility.
recast or whatever? Like,
Oh,
like with like Futurama and shit, where it was just like that period where fucking what's his name, Jake the dog, fucking
Joe DiMaggio?
Joe DiMaggio, yeah. John DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio is the baseball player.
They're both great.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they both hit home runs. But where it's like he was maybe gonna walk, and then like he didn't. Like there was the whole thing, and they've had that with The Simpsons as well, where they're just like. People were just like, you need to pay us like a metric fuck ton of money or we're gonna fucking walk.
Yeah, well, when we started the podcast, Harry Shearer was like, he had said he quit the show, but then they wrote whatever amount of money they needed to for him to walk that back. And it's like,
have there been like any like major voice actors that have like left the show? I know that the woman who voiced Milhouse has just recently retired.
That's it. Pamela Hayden. She's left. Russie Taylor died.
Like people have died. Like I know, like Marsha Wallace and like Phil Hartman and like all those
mainly
people.
B and C tier. I don't think we've definitely not had any core cast members leave.
What kind of juju has Julie Kavanaugh got going on that she's still alive,
Mate,
Like it's crazy.
Sounding
She is 847 years old.
I think the magic juju is $300,000 an episode.
Oh, that would do it.
I need to put my great grandkids through college.
And just a spittoon for blood.
Wow.
Spittoon filled with blood.
Wowee.
Was this a particularly wacky episode of The Simpsons?
It was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dare I say, wickety work.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
But like not wacky. Like to have like the animatronics pizza place, like there could have been so much more there. The hip hop stuff was like, apart from just showing a jacket and a lot of references, like nothing really happened.
Yeah.
Even then when they get to the movie studio, it's just like all just poster gags.
Yeah.
Also,
that
we
aren't
didn't get to see
gags.
any of this fucking movie.
Well, that's it. Like, it could have been a lot wackier if they leaned into any one part of this episode, but everything is so...
No, it was all over the place.
What was that Nick Cage movie from a couple of years ago where he's like in like an old like Chuck E. Cheese like adjacent place, and like
I've
he's
seen
got
it and I
he's
don't
got to
even
like
remember.
murder these like anthropomorphic fucking.
I don't think Nick Cage is in it. It's Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, but there's another movie that has
There's
Nick
another
Cage
one that I'm
that's
thinking.
basically the same
Five Nights
thing.
at Freddy's is another one, but yeah, there was another one where
It sounds great.
It isn't. Like,
A Nick Cage movie? I never.
This is the weirdest thing. It's a movie that needs Nick Cage cranked to 11, and they just don't let him do that. He's at like a 5 the whole time. It's so weird. It's like, guys, if you let this happen, it would probably be fun.
Yeah.
hang on, one sec. I'm
got
a
it.
man of my word.
He's getting there.
It's called
National treasure.
We're gonna have a three-way with the Declaration of Independence.
Said you had it, Burn.
I
dropped it.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
Let's just talk about Nick Cage movies that we like. Long
Willy's
Legs.
Wonderland is the name
There
of
it
the
is.
film. It came out in 2021.
It was a good year for animatronic movies.
So yeah, he plays a janitor that works at this restaurant with like a like a Chuck E. Cheese style band, and they like come to life at night, and he's got to murder them. Basically.
Fun fact, the producers claim to have never heard of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, so this was like Temu Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
There you go.
What? We've never heard of it.
like when Seth MacFarlane was like, "What's the Simpsons?" Like, I've never
Yeah.
What was the Nick Cage movie where he goes in people's dreams?
Oh,
Dream Scenario.
Yeah, no,
Great fucking movie.
I really
yeah.
liked that one.
You seen that?
Made me very sad.
I know. Beautiful, bittersweet movie.
Yeah.
Really, really, really well done.
He was great in Long Legs. He was great in that other one as
Oh,
well.
Long Legs is fucked. It's so good.
Renfield was good.
Renfield
Yeah,
sucked,
that's alright.
but
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, fight.
he was fine. But
fight.
I thought the movie was bad.
You know
Yeah,
what you two
great-
need to
great
do?
movie.
Get in the cage.
Whoa.
Yeah, let's
Excellent Nick Cage podcast title.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we're all agreeing, it's a great movie.
go. Yes. Has Nicolas Cage ever been on The Simpsons?
No, I don't believe so.
Well, that is a travesty.
Crime,
yeah, that
yeah.
is a dropped opportunity, especially with this episode.
Yeah.
But I guess he was busy at this time.
yeah. Doing the same thing, weirdly enough.
You know what he was thinking when he saw Homer with the CD?
You got lights, you got cameras, bitch, and technology.
That, but also, how did it get burned? How did it get burned? How did it get burned? How did it get burned?
Okay,
See,
that
now
one was
that's
good.
Yeah, that's what I'm
that
going to
was-
laugh
that
at.
was-
Thank you.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Very good joke.
I'm glad someone finally thinks I'm funny. I've been trying for 34 years. You know what? Fuck you.
We give you what you want, and it's
Yeah,
still
these
fuck
cunts
you.
are roasting. They've been roasting me the entire time. Oh,
Years now.
I get no respect. Like that guy. Like Harvey.
Yeah, I think if you say that, you have to pull your collar. And, hey.
Yeah. Well, put her back in. She's not done yet. Jeez.
I can talk about 2 moments that gave me some semblance of joy. Well, some.
Okay.
Awesome, let's go.
The end credits. So we've got that.
Actually, well, no. Just after the end credits, I actually thought that the post-credit Troll Force 5 bit was pretty funny. Like the idea of there being like they did the Spider-Verse aesthetic, which is a nice kind of reference. They did, like the furry, the Stan or whatever. It was like
very like
it was something-
old Justice League cartoon style of announcing here is the hero and their powers.
Like that was actually boarded on the bus stop on the way to get to Satire Town. It's still many steps away from it, but it was as close as anything got to that in this episode, so I enjoyed that. Also, if there's an animatronic yak breaking down and repeating "I beat kids," funny.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's comedy.
Yeah, like, we're not getting to the, Bart's birthday party level of, like, but there were details with the animatronics I liked, how, like, in the beginning, the clanking and the moving of the robots was, like, so much louder than the music. I was like, that is a good detail.
That's funny. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was excited when I was like, oh, great, a Columbo reference. And then that just nothing happened with it. Like, there was just no point to putting that in.
No, something happened.
Yeah, we find out Mel likes to fuck an animatronic fox.
Yeah.
Full of WD-40.
There you go.
Good lord. Yeah, that's a thing that happened in this episode.
Oh, look, I like the turn for Mo, though. When I figured out, wait, they're doing a Columbo bit with Mo. Okay.
Yeah, he's even doing the eye and
one more thing.
Yeah. But yeah, like, one thing for there to be a character that's called the Furry in this episode, but also the implication that not only is Mel a furry, he's an animatronic furry. He's like a whole new level of internet that I have never seen. That, yeah.
Not hurting anybody.
I hope this hasn't awoken anything.
I feel like 20 of our listeners just went, there are dozens of us.
Oh my god.
Another wacky moment that stood out to me, there was a literal lens flare joke when J.J. Abrams enters the screen.
Yeah, so that's where they're pretending
I
the
hate when they do
gentle
that, when
reveal.
they do like the reveal of the guest star, and it's just like they're standing there and it like pans up from their feet.
Yeah. Lisa even literally has the line of, what is he doing in Springfield? In that exact fucking cadence. I wish I was
Well,
joking.
that's the thing. There's
so
a lot
dark.
in this episode that feels like it's pointing at the tropes to make a joke, but it's just kind of pointing at them, like with the whole Marge says, oh, I've got to call someone. And they're like, oh, wait, who are you calling? No, tell us later. That'll be a better reveal. It's like,
That one I was like, I feel like that was only there because you realized you hadn't put Bart in the episode yet. Like,
yeah.
100%.
Had to make that 300K.
But how did the heart land with all of you? Did we feel the bumps?
You know what did you call it earlier?
Anti-heart.
Yeah, forget the bumps. This is a flat line. Like
Oh.
this is beep. Like it's not it's like, oh no, it's dead.
Yeah.
Like this is fucking dead.
But it's, and we touched on it before, but like I don't think they know what they want it to be. Like the
Yeah.
setup should, like, there's a lot of potential for heart in this episode that they're just not interested in. And then the anti-heart at the end with the like, you're a shitty dad, just feels weird and mean. Like,
Yeah.
but even when they're like, oh, something's wrong with dad, and it's like, why not just show Homer being sad instead of inventing all these things that he's not doing that no one cares about because they're not funny?
I'm going to put traffic cones around him. I didn't think I'd need them, but good thing I bought them. What the fuck is this joke?
And then like after
didn't mind
Marge
that.
is so like, we need to do something for Homer. Like, I'm really, really worried about him. He spends a day on a computer and it's just like, you need to let this go, I think. It's like, what the fuck is, like, what do you want? Like, is this a problem or isn't it? Like,
You know what? I'll give the episode this one bit that I really enjoyed that was the heart. You know, Marge talking about, oh, Homer, he's not being his old self. He's not shuffling his pancakes. He's not scooting with the dog.
Yep.
And then Mo shows up. Oh, my God, he's not being the same there either. He's not spinning Barney. He's not drinking beer with a crazy straw. And, like, them, like, consoling each other over that, I actually felt was pretty nice.
That
him
worked
calling
okay.
her Midge.
yeah.
That's always been one. I mean, that's always
the
been
heart
one.
right
That's always been one of my favorite like character beats of Mo in general. Is that the
His
fact
affection for Marge.
the fact he has a specific nickname for Marge that no one else calls her.
Yeah.
No, but he's getting the name wrong. Like that is the
Yeah.
The
But
origin.
then there's
that's
the, and then
Well,
there's,
it's
but
not a
then
joke.
there's-
It's the nickname that he has for her.
It's not a nickname.
debatable.
It's not a nickname.
So,
Midge.
yeah,
Midge is absolutely a nickname.
Lisa
Yeah, it's
on
a
Ice
nickname.
is my point of reference here, where Mo walks in trying to get an idea for how to bet on the upcoming ice hockey game, and he kind of brushes Marge aside, going, "Hey, how you doing there, Midge?" As though he doesn't actually know what her name is. He's there for another reason and is trying to get her, brush
I think
her
I might have
aside.
started out that way, but I've always seen it as like a pet name. Like, how you doing, Midge?
Arguably since then, because he definitely has had more involvement with Marge since, although we're not supposed to remember that. It's arguable it has become a nickname.
Because I always thought that Mo held a little flame for Marge, and so him calling her Midge is kind of like his.
It's a pretty big flame.
I mean, can you blame him with that sultry voice? Like,
The line that follows that moment, Elliot, is also, again, it's like it's saying the quiet part loud.
Yeah.
But the line is like, we'll just have to love him more. I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah,
It goes too far. Like it's because it's like 0 to 100 real quick in terms of the sentimentality and the saccharineness of it. But I suppose that's hard.
Look, even Bart and Lisa going, "Oh, look, I'm used to seeing Mum upset about Dad, but Mo, this is serious now."
That
I was
really
okay with
shook
that.
me, yeah.
Sorry, quickly fact-checked with baby name website thebump.com. Midge is an established nickname for Margaret.
There we are.
That's just part of the real world.
I took it as he got her name wrong.
Yeah. No. Midge is like a short
I mean,
name
if
for
he'd been
Margaret.
calling her Crandall, then that fair enough.
Isn't it much funnier that he's just getting the name wrong every time?
No, because it's supposed to be a sentimental thing.
Yeah, I think it's...
Nah.
I think it
What do
builds,
you mean?
it builds the world. It builds the world in a nice way.
This is definitely more interesting than the episode, so we're going to talk about this from now on.
Yeah, it's not. I think it builds the world better to have Mo be kind of like a little bit separate from it, and not know how to interact. Like I think it's funny.
No, Mo is such an institution on the show and as part of the community. It would make sense that he has a nickname for one of his best friends'
Here's why I'd be upset if the answer was him getting the name wrong, because I think it's one of the only times that we see...
I want everyone to know my body language is arms folded.
Noted.
Good for a
Elliot, put it on the
podcast,
website.
I would be upset because it's like one of the only times that we see Mo really soft.
Yeah,
because he doesn't. He's
he's
grumpy
like that with
and
Marge,
so-
and he's like that with
That is
Maggie.
the joke. That is the
But
joke.
it's not a joke.
It's
a
not
real
a joke.
nickname.
Yeah, it's a real nickname.
Yeah.
Elliot, you want to duck out for a beer?
But ultimately, did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons? Lisa character we know and love? Huh?
I had notes.
On heart?
Yeah.
Oh, go for it.
All right. Main point is going to be what I'm saying before, that the concept of art falls apart because Homer, he wasn't attached to the robots. He was attached to the opportunity to have his career as a hip hop artist take off, or whatever, or a DJ rather.
A DJ as Grandpa
DJ.
calls him.
But my main real gripe is going to be with the overarching it in terms of, and it's just left my head. That's always fun. Hang on a second. Where'd it go?
Everybody check out your chairs.
Yep, look at it. And that's where we keep the secret prizes. Shut up. Oh, God, what was it? There it is. Okay, so basically, at the end, Homer has this whole rant of, you've taken...
We needed to reboot him like a JJ Everett.
More like a Mac. You've taken these beloved characters and reworked them just to make profit. How dare you destroy my childhood by reworking these characters? This episode starts with Homer reworking the characters. They're on stage doing old shtick, and he gives them new shtick, and that's how little thought is put into this concept of this episode.
Yeah. Michael Price, one of the few Simpsons writers who's interacted with me on social media.
Did he send you death threats or?
Oh no, like occasionally when we've like put up like the ads, here's the episodes we're covering this week, he'll like retweet and go, I wrote this one. Like when we did Bart's Brain recently, the
Honey,
episode.
kids, come in. Let's all listen to the index together.
Let's all sit around and listen to
Sit
a
around the
podcast.
wireless.
Yes.
But no, they did an episode where Bart befriends a brain in the jar, and we just tore that episode to pieces. And he, what do you do on Blue Sky? He re-bleeded me, or it's like, hey, this was one of the first episodes we wrote back after the big directors actors strike. It's like,
At least it just sends you a message that says, guys, I'm trying.
I did my best.
It's been really hard ever since my wife died. The kids don't talk to me, and I get to work on this show that they love, and I gave it everything, Elliot.
Oh, look,
He's like, should I mention this in the podcast? He goes, no. And then Elliot scribbles out dead wife.
But I mean, Michael Price is all right. He co-created F is for Family. That's a okay-ish show. But how about this show? Did it feel like The Simpsons? Is this the show we know and love?
It's the show we know.
Yeah.
Look, parts, sure. but it
Simpsons
gets
gonna
drowned
Simpsons,
in
you know
itself.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Integrity break. I mean, aside from the whole retconning thing, which honestly is like one of the least egregious parts of this episode.
And even then, like, I start off feeling weird that Gil was this into cocaine, but it's like, you know what? Sure, let's expand Gil's character a tiny bit. It's in the past. Maybe that's why he's, so desperate and tired these days. Yeah, fine, whatever.
Yeah, that whole bit where they look for Gil now and he's in Little Los Angeles and it's just like, a series of homeless people and tents and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah, bleak.
But I don't think there's any points in the episode where anyone is doing something because of who they are as a character. Like, I think you could transplant this script to a different set of characters and you wouldn't actually lose a lot.
Yeah,
Like
Family Guy.
Bart and Lisa aren't.
This could be a Peter Griffin story.
Yeah. Even like when Bart and Lisa pretend to be young directors or whatever, like that doesn't feel like a Bart and Lisa scheme or anything.
No.
Like there's nothing about them like, hey, we need to go and find these robots that's like, oh, this is something that the Simpsons do. As like, I don't think it feels like anyone is importantly the Simpsons in this episode.
No, and Mo feels like Columbo at a certain point.
Mo would be replaced by Brian Griffin, I think, if they would, or maybe Quagmire. Who do you
Holy fuck, this really goes like, they just break out into Columbo parrot. Yeah, this is just a fair. Again, not that there's anything necessarily wrong with Family Guy, but, do my Family Guy when it's Family Guy time, Yeah.
Is that what we're doing after this? Like when the index is finished, are we doing the Family Guy index?
Oh, definitely.
Yes. Yes.
Because that's the wild thing with Family Guy now, that we can like go back to the old Simpsons index
Yeah,
structure.
you can do it from a different decade. Yeah.
That's
it's
how
been on
fucking
that
old.
fucking long. Let's fucking go.
Till we die.
Lucky there's a Family Guy index.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes or no? Do we want to watch this episode again?
No.
Oh my fucking god! I would rather.
Go on.
Yeah.
Do tell, Deej. What would you rather
What would you rather do?
Here's one for you, Deej.
just one.
Would you rather watch this episode again or have a nice time doing something else?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good to me.
This episode again, or that 90s show again?
Oh! No,
Both good
I
shows.
reckon I had more fun hating that 90s show.
I didn't
Like-
get angry enough at this episode because
No.
it was too shit. It was
Yeah.
like empty and nothing.
At
Whereas
this stage of The Simpsons, like, you're just kind of... You're a bit worn down, aren't you? You can't put up the fight
I just
that
wanna
you
feel
used
something.
to. Yeah. Honestly, I will take outrage over just...
Well,
you
look,
know what I mean?
maybe we'll get it in the next episode, but let's quickly finish off this one. Adam, we'll start with you. What are some things you want to change about this one?
I mean, look, honestly, BT, I think your analysis was so spot on in terms of like, the things that it was setting up and the blind spots that it kind of had. So I'm just going to go like what you said on that, honestly.
Hell yeah.
it was a good punch up.
How about you, Nate?
Yeah. When did they start making Simpsons episodes go for 2 hours? Because this was too long. I think they should reduce the episode back to 22 minutes or whatever.
Really? I feel like it was too short.
Oh,
because,
no.
Well, it felt really short. Like, it felt like everything just kind of resolved really quickly.
That's true.
So you want them to release the full cut?
Oh, no. That was the other thing. At some point, J.J. Abrams goes, watch my movie. It goes for 71 minutes. And it's like, that is not the J.J. Abrams way.
No, yeah, weird. Like, yeah, I mean, I would just cut JJ. And whether we're keeping it all in the 90s or making it just the like, hey, Dad, actually, I think the thing that you missed was you were performing and feeling good. It wasn't about the robots. Like,
It's way better.
that's great. JJ just adds nothing.
How about you, Jack?
What would I change about it?
He'd make Mo really hate Marge.
Yeah.
You'd have Marge say, Midge. And when I say that, it's because I don't really know what your name is.
Shut the fuck up, Mitch.
Shut the fuck up, Midge. That sounds like a new Simpsons joke. Like, Mo saying it like
Yeah,
that.
like over elaborately explaining the joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like turning to the camera and being like, that's what that joke means. Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically it. I think it's really good job from everyone. Wouldn't change.
Oh, yeah. 10 out of 10, no notes.
BT, anything to add?
Look, I'm just going to agree with Adam, who agreed with me. No, okay, if you want...
Stroking your own dick on the podcast.
Look,
yeah.
if not, not to give too much of the ranking away, but look, to make this a participant episode, cut the whole J.J. Abrams bit. That's really where this felt like it lost what direction it had. To make this a bronze, keep it in the 90s with Homer, and let's just follow that character for a while, at least have a good time there.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it being no, you love performing, not these animatronics that you were doing all the work for. That's great.
Yeah. How about you, Deej?
Oh, okay. What I would do is I would relocate from Springfield to Quahog. And I think I'd incorporate a bit more violence in the movie. Like,
Should the dog talk?
I think the dog should absolutely talk, yeah. And when Homer's watching TV, there should be more sex on it.
I think Duff Beer fits, or should that get like a new local brewery?
I've got one actually. Anytime that Wackety Yak is not on screen,
Everyone
should be
should be
saying,
asking,
"Where's
where's Yakety?" That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So those are some minor adjustments that I would make.
Oh, can I just add on that? I would be cool if there was someone in a big like chicken suit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you wanted to pad out the episode a bit, yeah, you
Definitely.
could have
Make it
Homer
longer. Which is
Yeah,
needed.
yeah, for sure. And I would have J.J. Abrams voiced by Seth MacFarlane.
Definitely. Yeah.
Hey guys, it's me, J.J. Abrams. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, look, because I think when the episode was working was weirdly enough in the 90s, and I like that's one thing you can give the current era is the the extended color palette and the nicer looking graphics, and I think like all the 90s aesthetic stuff was like working, and like it is kind of a shame that wasn't more of the episode. Yeah, and otherwise, just kill J.J. Abrams. That's on screen.
Weird that you have that written on like the page over and over, and then the walls.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different of an episode, and I guess maybe it's kind of retreading the Bobo stuff. But like, I also wouldn't mind an episode with that setup that then just followed the 4 robots.
Yeah,
and like where
sure.
they went and whose lives they like. I think that
Yeah,
also.
'cause at least it's a different episode structure. And,
Yeah,
gives us
but I think that could still pay off that beginning in a nice way.
Yeah, because to get them all back was just a series of sketches. Because, we get that Columbo bit with Mel, and then we get Disco Stu and more into his parents, Doo-Wop Steve, and Public Domain Debbie.
I almost successfully killed myself when that joke happened. Like, one of the worst things I've ever seen.
It's just, and we talked about this every single podcast that we do this with. But like, I don't understand the writer's room. Like, obviously, even at this stage, the Simpsons writer's room, there's got to be like, there's some pedigree there. Like, they're not just letting anyone in. But I don't understand.
I don't know.
And maybe it's like, obviously, studio pressure and like, who knows what, like, things are different. But like, why aren't these jokes better? There are so many people that would still love to write for The Simpsons.
We're in a room of people that have not written television, and we're all just like, we have better ideas.
Yeah.
Like, I already, like, when we were talking, I already came up with another one. You could have the animatronic band have, like, a quote-unquote reunion gig that Homer puts together, and all the kids, like, that were little kids, like, at, like, those performances or whatever, like, they could come back as adults and be like, oh, like, seeing this made me want to play music, or, like, whatever.
It really seemed like that's where it was going until JJ showed up. Like,
Yeah, that's
I
the
wonder
thing.
if he was
Such a
always in the
derailment.
episode. Or...
Yeah. They literally teared up the third act and it's like, all right, JJ wants to be in this.
Disney says that JJ's got to be in an episode. This one, we haven't finished writing it. Let's just
I
do
hadn't
this.
even considered that. Yeah, it's totally that, isn't it? It's the Disney path that got anyway. All right, it's time for our final notes.
Now it's time, and now it's time for our final notes. Everyone's final notes.
That rule. I wish I could have done that.
Everybody in the
Mono.
I don't want you to make your mind up until you've heard both songs.
Final notes.
Adam, any other parts of this episode you want to mention before we move on to the rankings?
no, I'm good, man. Thank you.
How about you, Nath?
I didn't mind you showed that this is a universal experience, or at least DreamWorks. Like,
Yeah.
it in context, it like because the rest of the episode feels bad, so the jokes don't land. But I think whatever. But I did have a moment when the FBI busted into the pizza place. I was like, is this a Pizzagate episode? And I was disappointed that it wasn't.
Disappointed.
Oh, no.
Holy shit, that would have been so sick. sick, too.
But yeah, I had a similar thing with the Universal DreamWorks joke, but then that act ends with, J.J. Abrams taking the robots away from Homer, and then Homer goes, oh, it's the same thing that happened in the past, but it's happened again years later, and then they, have this beat where it goes for so long, and they're like, just like this guy. Anyway, Jack, any other parts of the episode you want to mention?
I just feel like they were trying to gaslight me into thinking that I was the idiot for. They tried to gaslight me into thinking I was the idiot for thinking that they ruined the show when it really was me that ruined the show.
Of course
but I'm actually the idiot for having watched it.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
And that's where we discovered the idiot was inside us all along.
How about you, DJ? Any other bits in the ep?
Why does Bart sound like he's paying taxes? We always talk about fucking Tom Waits, fucking Julie Kavanaugh. We're way down in the hole.
Oh, we get a bunch of...
But Nancy Cartwright is 67 years old, and she's just like, don't have a cow, man. It's just his balls have significantly dropped over the years. God, that's another fucking Nepo hire. She's only famous because Sabrina Carpenter's her niece.
Yeah.
Damn time-traveling pop singers.
But we get a bit of Harry Shearer sounding weathered in this episode as well. We get a bit of Herman, the military antiques guy, and
He
he's
sounds tired.
no effort into putting that
None
voice.
whatsoever. Just to explain to Nathan and Adam, Sabrina Carpenter's a pop singer. She's
What's
doing okay.
pop?
She's doing okay.
Okay, cool. I'll check it out.
Good for her.
That's Olivia Rodrigo.
Dag. BT.
I'm so young.
Look, there's a sign that says unreleased the Snyder Cut. I'm like, look, there's a degree of ways you can complain about how fans complain. And one is, everyone wanted this Snyder Cut for ages and they released it, and then it was just like, oh, okay.
Oh, well, it's part of this problem in this part of the episode where there's so many of these trolling text jokes that it's kind of a bombardment.
Yeah.
The good ones don't stick out. I liked the one sign that was 80 retweets can't be wrong. That wasn't bad, but then there's just, so much around it that's just,
Yeah, and there was also one I'm very mixed on because Homer has a line of you took these robots made to sell pizza and made it something commercial, which, feels like a dig on Transformers, which was obviously a show that existed just to sell toys, but people still found connection with the characters, and so it's still fuck you for liking something like this new thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, also having here's all the animation studios that went blind or crazy trying to make this thing. And it's just that's, the Simpsons get produced in probably not great circumstances in Korea still.
Yeah. That's not changed. Yeah.
What
about you, Ellie J. O'Neill?
Yeah, Homer's DJ name is Homer Cool J Simpson. Right. I didn't mind the whole thing with his group was rebranded as the Funtime Funky 4 and all the Fs have been replaced with THs. That's something.
That's very
It was
90s.
the style at the time.
That's honestly all my notes. All right, it's time to rank this thing on the Simpsons Index. We rank using a 6-point scale, which starts down the bottom at failure.
Damn.
Maybe if the episode was just meh, you give it a participant. But for the positive rankings, you got okay, bronze, good, silver, excellent, gold. But for the best of the very best, you use cubic zirconia. I'm going to
stop you right there.
Yeah?
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Failure.
I didn't know what we're doing, but yeah.
Did anyone have a participant or
Yeah.
dare I say a
If
bronze for
anyone
this one?
objects, speak now or forever hold your peace.
At a certain point, I'm like, you know what? I can just participant this. I don't. And then just the lack of remembering what it was even doing. I'm just like, no. Now you've annoyed me enough to want to hate you.
Yeah.
I give it a caca.
Is that lower than failure?
I don't know.
I'm going to write this one out.
All right, that's a 7-point scale now.
It just feels different.
Nearly 300 episodes. Get
Right
no
down the
points.
bottom at caca.
But I mean, yeah, is that y'all's thoughts? Yeah,
Yeah,
failure.
it's caca.
Failure,
Any other
failure.
final thoughts?
Caca.
Hey,
Just reinforcing his ranking. Yeah.
does that mean this episode gets...
This is a unanimous failure. We are going to give this episode the
index finger!
It will be the, oh my goodness, 5th episode from season 32 to get the finger. It's joining the 7 beer itch. That's the weird one where
vague
Burns has nipple tassels and he helicopters away at one
fucking
point.
crime.
It stars, who's that?
Well, I
heard that
just
from my
answered
mind.
the question, how could things get any worse?
Who's that woman from The Bear and Hot Fuzz? Olivia Colman, is that her name?
Liv
Yeah.
Coleman,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
plays it. She's a person in that
Yeah,
episode.
it sucks. It's a real waste of her because
Oh, no,
it's a
that's a
bad
shame.
episode, but it's...
She's in that remake of The Roses that's coming out with Benedict Cumberbatch, which I really want to see.
A person that will come up in the next episode, actually.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Oh, Benny
Secret
Cumberbatch.
Simpsons...
Oh,
can-
wait a second. Is this what I think it is?
Maybe if you what you were saying before, you like to stay up to date on things that might have gotten into your.
Oh, a guy that I really used to like and now can't. for certain
Yeah, all right.
reasons.
You know what we're doing next.
Baby! Oh no!
But the
Oh no!
the other failures from this.
Sorry, can I quietly
sorry?
appreciate the shouting of, yeah, baby, oh no.
That is my brain at any time.
Inside you, there were
Yeah.
two wolves.
It's Austin Powers having an existential crisis. Yeah, baby! Oh no!
The other unanimous failures were the man from Grandpa, where Grandpa used to be
Yeah,
a spy.
so close to being decent as well.
Manger Things, the 700th episode, which another retcon where
Yeah.
Homer helped Maude give birth to Rod, who has
Yeah.
his middle name is Homer now.
Yeah.
Anyway, and and also Diary Queen, which was such a good episode in concept, where Bart finds Miss Krabappel's old journal, but yeah, they just whiff it hard. Anyway,
Was this after she died?
Yeah, it was like a
Well
tribute.
Jesus
after.
It was
Christ,
well,
man.
it was almost like a nice tribute, and then it just I can't remember what goes wrong, but it goes wrong.
We did review it like 4 years ago. Anyway, all right, we're going to go watch another episode from season 32. This one's called Panic on the Streets of Springfield. Any more clues onto what this could be about?
Is it panic exclamation point on the streets of Springfield?
No. He's still very much a fan of that band, but
Yeah.
the one that's covered in this episode, not so much.
All right. Well, they go in some places,
All
and I
right.
don't know where they are.
We're going to go Morrissey that episode. We'll be back.
Hey!
And we are back, and we just watched another episode from season 32. This was episode 19, Panic on the Streets of Springfield. First released in April of 2021, it was directed by Matthew Nastuck, written by Tim Long.
Hey.
In this
And it doesn't
episode...
You know, that household name that everyone knows.
Yeah,
Tim
sorry,
Long.
I said it like everyone knew it, but I only looked at BT then.
Yeah, but also because you were like, you're going to tell them who wrote it. And I was
Look,
like, ooh, who's
Oh,
going to...
no, the songs.
Oh.
With original songs by Brett McKenzie.
And this is the one where everyone else in the room goes, and I'm like, I'm sorry, who?
He was an elf in Lord of the Rings.
We were riffing on Flight of the Conchords before in the last
of
episode.
course, yeah,
This
yeah.
is the not Jermaine one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brit.
Yes.
Brit.
No, Brit.
Yeah, like Brit.
Brit?
Oh, like brats? Yeah.
Are you fucking with me?
Tim Long, he's a long-time Simpsons writer, but has
I
been...
see what you did there.
I was about to say, remember the
Oh,
Jockey
God
Elf
damn it.
episode I was ripping on? That was him.
Is that what he says when he walks in the room?
highs and lows.
Yeah, it's Tim Long time.
Baby, I love you. I love you, Tim Longtime.
Yay!
But yeah, when we're
long
talking
tin.
about the line graph before and that dip around season 9, that's when Tim Long comes into the show. And yeah, written such classics as Saddle Saw Galactica.
Of course.
What else? I'm just trying to find ones that I think you guys know, but they're post 12,
Yeah.
so
Large
no.
shit's a bank. You know, that classic.
Lisa Goes Gaga. There you go. He wrote
Oh,
that
wow. Yeah.
Normally, we refer to him as Tim Long.
one. Yeah.
Like Skinner. Yes, very good.
Christ, no.
Yeah, in this episode, Homer gets a brand new truck to help his low testosterone problem, but
He does.
that like because he got the new truck, he also got a subscription to Slapify. Was that whatever?
It was. Yeah, you got it.
And Lisa, through that, discovers a love of Quillaby and his band The Snuffs. Which is, yeah, very lazy stand-in of Morrissey and the Smiths. And after confrontations at school, she starts to imagine Quillaby, and she's got a new imaginary friend, Quillaby, who's really cynical and helps her, become a teenager in this episode. Anyway, broad strokes of the plot. Hey, guys, what do you think?
Look, it's a little hard for me to identify with this episode as a high T alpha, but I do feel like there are certain things I can relate to. Look, this one starts pretty weak, but actually this got pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just hearing the synopsis like that, I was like, this is a lot better than that sounds, I think.
Yeah.
Anytime,
Yeah.
like all the Slapify, the same with all the Mapple stuff, it's just
Yeah.
like really dating it by tech is always feels gross.
Yeah.
but it was pretty fun. And
Yeah, got there in the end.
Nice to have an A and B plot that are their own things, but then also have a nice moment together at the end.
Yeah, well, then, like, someone pointed it out when we were watching the episode when Lisa gets on the Slappify because of the subscription with the truck, and so someone, was it you, Bunch of the
It was me. I went, oh, this is the pivot?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I really hope this isn't the first act fuck you, because we were only enjoying the truck stuff.
We're pro truck.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the truck stays.
But yeah, it's nice that it plays in the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
And the ending.
I think all the Smith stuff was handled so graciously, and as a
Like,
recovering,
pretty well, yeah.
and as a recovering Smiths fan, like
This is also a support meeting for former Smiths fans.
Yeah, I mean, there's something about having the imaginary friend of Morrissey, but the Morrissey rooted in time.
Oh, the idealistic version
yeah.
of Morrissey.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you
Where he
talk
doesn't
about
start talking about the Chinese. Yeah.
what is this episode about, and I think that this is crossing over into both A and B plot. It's about idealized identity. It's about the things that you buy into being the things that shape you, or at least what you project to other people about how you want to be seen.
And
right?
might I add,
Hey.
So for Homer, that was the truck, and that was to do with masculinity. And for Lisa, this was about rebelling and finding this thing in this music, because like really like going deep into that.
And like an intellectual thing as well. Like, I think it was important that her imaginary friend was like clever and had a way with words in a way that the people around her didn't get.
And again, like a part of me throughout the episode was wondering whether it would have been better if it wasn't as obvious that we were talking about the Smiths. If you just took maybe like 2 degrees away. I think enough that Smiths fans could still recognize it.
Yeah.
But here it was like everything about it was so direct. Like, the Slappify, Spotify, Quillaby, Morrissey. You know, you can see so clearly what's going on.
I think for me,
Hey, no, it's a very common name, like Ricky Rouse or Model Mark.
And I don't actually have an answer to that question, and maybe I'll open it up to the floor as well. Like, would it have been better if it was more disguised? What would we have got from that versus having it as direct that this is
I
about
felt
the Smiths?
vindicated as a Smiths fan. I felt
Okay.
it was cool to have, because this is what the Smith listening to the Smiths is that meme of Leo DiCaprio getting attacked by the bear in that movie that he made.
The Revenant.
The Reverend, yeah, where it's the bear is Morrissey and it's Leo being like just trying to enjoy the Smiths music. And having the setup and the payoff, because when I first heard the Smiths as like a teen or whatever, that's kind of how it felt listening to it. It kind of felt like I was in an intellectual sparring with like someone really smart, and elevated my IQ in my mind, you know? And especially when you're talking about socio-political things, but also doing it in a very poetic sort of way. I don't know. And then having my worst, like, I don't know, fears of Morrissey confirmed by the end of the episode, and them really leaning into it and going like, no, you weren't silly. Like, you know what? Yes. In this episode, there was a distinct feeling of like, you're not silly for liking this.
yeah.
But also I like that
Which I think is great.
Lisa, by the end of the episode, also realised, well, maybe it's not as intelligent as it is just...
Which is
Maybe just
beautifully
being mean to people.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
being disaffected is not the same as being cool.
But I did have a lot of the episode. I was like, oh, are we really going to do this without kind of acknowledging the very racist elephant in the room?
No.
And then like
They did it.
We got to acknowledge that, and that was nice. But then I really liked that at the end, it wasn't like, you know, this dude up here is a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit for liking this. It was just like, cool. You can engage this, but like you can choose not to follow that, like, you know. I thought that was a nice empowering thing, that it's like, just because you liked the Smiths as a teenager, like you can disconnect things.
Okay, so like honestly, one of the most fraught kind of conversations you can have in pop culture is the idea of like liking problematic material and
like trucks.
and actually
Post 12 Simpsons.
you know, credit to this episode that it actually handled that non-explicitly. Very different to what we saw in the last episode, where, like, again, the problem I had, saying everything out loud, it kept that as subtext. But by the end of it, you kind of did land with it, and you were able to walk away with some takeaways on the whole thing.
And I like that Lisa didn't turn on the music at all. It was like, didn't take the button off her shirt and throw it down or anything like that. Can still like the things, it just has a different context, which for The Simpsons, that delicate touch is astonishing.
What has gone on?
Yeah.
I am just so glad I did the episodes in this order. Like,
Oh, buddy.
Well, I mean, for an episode that bears in our future of The Simpsons looking at their own problematic past, this is so much better handled.
Yeah.
Morrissey didn't think so.
I remember he very infamously had a massive crash out over this.
Yeah. Look, I think...
Can you say it in Morrissey's voice?
I can.
Yeah, go for it. Look, I didn't want to read the entire thing because it's long, but I do.
Give me the highlight to read.
Can you do this to the tune of Meat is Murder?
Oh, okay, yes.
Challenge.
I was looking for an episode and then I found an episode.
Heaven knows. All right. In a world obsessed with hate laws, there are none that protect me.
No way! He didn't write that.
And other shit.
Amongst other things, yes.
It's actually really healthy to imagine that Johnny Marr was doing all of what sounds like Morrissey singing with his guitar because he's just that good. That he and Morrissey is not real, even.
Could you imagine they're in rehearsals and he's just there, just like, I can't stand the Chinese, and fucking Johnny is there just going, just like what the way people normally go me. That's what you sound like. He's there.
He's taunting.
He's doing it on guitar like me.
But like his manager also made Morrissey's manager is saying that.
Imagine still being Morrissey's manager. I could think of nothing worse apart from being Epstein's lawyer.
Yeah, I want you to say Morrissey's manager also released a quote that just said "lol."
But no, he goes, the depiction was hurtful and racist, and he also like compared it. No, he compared it to how is like this okay, but the Apu stuff wasn't. Like he like made one of those sort of fucking comparisons.
Racist against English people.
They had an English person voicing him, did they not?
Guest star of this episode, Benedict Cumberbatch.
You know, if you say Merry Christmas in this country now,
They put you in prison.
they put you in prison. Stuart Lee on The Simpsons went.
I think you can tell Benedict is having a lot of fun with it, which is very
so
good.
much fun.
Probably, also
Is that him
recovery.
singing as well, or is that Brett McKenzie?
No, that was him singing.
Yeah.
We just appreciate a guest star who's playing a character.
Yeah.
Exactly what we asked for last episode.
Exactly.
As
And
well.
they just
Even if he is kind of playing
Yeah,
another
yeah.
celebrity
Yeah.
instead.
But yeah, I'll take because the number of times Simpsons cameos play themselves, and it's really boring.
Yeah, that's old school, right? Like coming on and playing like a different, like Dustin Hoffman,
Colonel Clink.
yeah, Michael Jackson. I mean, they didn't use their real names.
You can
knew
tell
it was-
it's them.
Yeah.
He was in another episode. Yeah, he.
Oh, was he really?
Is
Was he recruiting penguins?
Oh my
I think you mean penguins.
Penguins. Not now, penguins.
Oh, that's right.
I'll never get tired of it. It's wild how much the energy in the room is higher than last.
Yeah. All right.
We're like,
We should all watch the
yeah,
penguins of Madagascar
really
after this.
bad. I'm really sad because we watched that, but now we're actually having a nice time.
Yeah, in the season 24 episode Love is a Many Splintered Thing, I don't remember off title alone, but he played the UK Prime Minister and Severus Snape.
You don't remember everything that's ever happened in the entire 30-plus year history of The Simpsons?
I can do pretty well from...
And you call yourself a fan!
You call yourself a spreadsheet.
Bart reunites with Mary Spuckler, but their relationship drifts apart. Okay.
Is that
Sure.
Cletus's daughter?
Yeah. He has a short-lived
Was she
fling
played
with her.
by... Am I remembering this right? Was she played by Zoe Deschanel?
Zoe Deschanel herself.
Where did I pull that from? I can't remember the names of people I've met recently, but I can remember who played Cletus's daughter.
Oh, I
The
can
most
reclaim my
mind-
title of a Simpson spreadsheet, man. Yeah, they first got together in the season 19 episode Apocalypse Cow, where Bart accidentally proposed to her by giving her a cow, which in the Spuckler family is a traditional marriage proposal.
It was such a good spreadsheet.
Thank you. That was a scary couple of seconds there. I was questioning myself and my identity. BT, start with you. For better or worse, what's something that stands out to you from this one?
Homer in the truck.
Homer in the
Elaborate.
truck.
Like just a specific elaborate. No, Specifically, Marge finally having like a crack at him properly and just being like, "You're not even a truck guy. What does talk mean?" And that was great. But then also the episode gave Homer a hero moment where they have to charge in to save Lisa, and the truck is capable of doing so. But then the reveal that no, he just got full of sandwiches and took a nap and dreamed that killed me.
On the punch up of that, no, Homer ate a garbage bag full of Mum's PB&J. Like, that was already a good bit, the Marge stress-making PB&Js.
Yeah,
but then to bring it back again, like, the memory of this episode is pretty good for that sort of shit.
Yeah, because even though, Marge has a proper go at Homer for buying this stupid truck, there's no animosity at the end. It's not like, of course you did this silly thing. And it's not, doesn't need to have a whole crisis of relationship thing. It's just like, that's us.
Yeah.
But in a way that doesn't make me angry.
In the one bit that was sad, though, he was going through the truck's features when he brought it home and was like, oh, look at the reverse camera. It's got infrared, and then it's just Marge bashing her head against the wall inside. That was like, oh, this is going to be one of those episodes. It wasn't, but that moment, I was worried it was.
Yeah, I mean, actually, no, I'll save it.
What stands out to you, for better or worse, Adam?
Well, I mean, it's very much related to that moment that you talked about. I'm going to, again, say it as the moment that hurt me was the way that Lisa climbed into the truck and then said, this truck goes against everything I stand for. Again, quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
And then immediately kind of forgot about all that when she saw it was Slapify.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we need to get Lisa to Slapify, but there is a better way of doing it than
the opening of this is pretty damn weak. But if you're going to get any part of your story weak, have it be the opening, so the middle and especially the end land.
No, that whole scene of her going through Slapify was exhausting. That was bad.
Because I wrote it down and so I was like, oh, if only we had a sense that there was a style of music that Lisa liked. Like, I don't know, jazz or blue. Like, it's just like, what is this, like...
I'm sorry, what was that? Jazz? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
But there was a poster on her wall during that scene that explicitly said the word jazz. It was just a poster for jazz.
Yeah, that's a jazz poster. What's that got to do with music? It's the famous brand, Jazz.
What's jazz got to do with music? That feels like a fucking jazz record.
That's my favorite Tina Turner song.
What's jazz got to do?
How about you, Nathan? What stands out to you?
I think, I mean, like, all the Morrissey stuff was good, and I like that we got the payoff of whatever. But the truck plot is just really fun. Right from the ad at the start, it was so stupid. The professor being like, there's no way a truck can do all these things.
Yeah.
It's just very good.
Pretty
I love
good.
when Homer is wearing a shirt that is a love heart with his truck on it.
Yeah.
At the same time that Quillaby is wearing a Quillaby shirt, and it's a real, like,
Parallel.
you know.
Because I was wondering whether we were going to
Nice.
do anything there with the fact that, you know, you're doing with this hyper masculine trope with Homer, and then you've got Quillaby, who is very much
Soy boy.
rebelling against that through various plant-based milks. But they didn't really go into that. That would have been too much. They would have been overloading it somewhat. Again, like, maybe nice to just kind of sit there and you can do the work on that yourself if you want, I guess. Maybe there's nothing there. Maybe there is. I don't know.
I did think Lisa being mean felt, I don't know, it was a bit much for me at some points where she was just like, oh, you're just being cruel. And, like, I get that that's a teenager thing of, like, oh, I can, you know, get self-satisfaction and mirth out of, like, making people feel bad. But it felt weird. And all the vegetarian diner stuff, like the cafeteria, I was just like, oh, we've kind of, we've done this much better. I was quite worried at that point in the episode because I was just like, oh, Lisa's just being rude to people.
It was still on shaky ground.
Yeah.
This is one that stuck the landing.
Yeah, but I think, like, Lisa's played the repressed intellectual so often, it's kind of nice to see her lash out a bit.
That's true. That's
like,
true.
now that I have context that the episode does something with all that, I'm a lot more comfortable with that being her getting a few digs in.
It's true. Because then I really liked the ending with her and Marge as well.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was very
absolutely.
sweet.
Oh, even the flashbacks with Lisa going, is this what being a teenager is like? And then Marge is like, yeah, blue mascara is my personality now. You don't get it, Mom.
If you don't like Homer, then maybe I will keep hanging out with him.
But I love how in those flashbacks it was time sensitive. It was actually the 60s and the 70s and stuff. I love that.
Yeah, the flares,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and just on the side note, Marge definitely can pull off those hot pants.
Hey, yo.
Suits and stuff.
Yeah, baby.
How about you, Jack? What's something from this episode that stands out to you?
I just thought everything was handled quite delicately and nicely. Felt like there was a...
By Tim Long.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
has
we all know what Tim Long's like, you know.
He does, and that's enough.
Look, I mean, he has, like, majority of his work is stinkers, but he
Every
does,
now and then.
Yeah, he does whip one out occasionally.
I just thought thought that it felt like there was care attached to what was going on. It didn't feel like they were trying to pump out an episode before the end of the week or whatever, or trying to shoehorn in a celebrity. Yeah, it just felt like there was care and attention and intentionality woven all the way throughout it.
You know what I think really leans into that is that every character is kind of aligned to their characters. Homer does this kind of thing. Yeah. It's very believable that Lisa would fall into that kind of trap and then realize that was a trap that she fell into and learn from it. Really nice. Like everyone was behaving in alignment to who they were and who we know them to be from classic era Simpsons.
Homer hearing from his doctor, "Oh, your testosterone's down a little bit," and having immediate panic,
Honestly,
and then clinging to the first masculine symbol he sees, 100%.
But also, like, the setup of, like, you going and he's saying, like, your cholesterol's too high, this is bad, your testosterone's a little bit low, like, as a satire on men is very funny. It's a great opening joke.
Well, turning it to Deej in that opening scene, something really sort of seemed to stand out to you when we were watching that with Homer and his doctor.
Hey, Google, why does Dr. Hibbert's voice sound like that now? Dr. Hibbert's voice is different because the character was recast in 2020 due to the show's decision to no longer have white actors voicing non-white characters.
And you have a problem with that, dude?
Yeah,
majorly.
I just think that's interesting is all.
Yeah.
The role was taken over by Kevin Michael Richardson.
And I bet Deej doesn't even know who that is.
And of course you do.
Kevin Michael Richardson.
Please, Jack, who is Kevin Michael Richardson?
Look, if you don't know, I'm not about to tell you.
Just know him as Kev.
Yeah. Big fan.
It is a weird thing because I mean the same thing kind of happened in Big Mouth when they recast Missy.
Yes.
And it's just like when you recast voice actors so that you're not doing weird cross-racial stuff, it's just like, oh, do you need the voice to sound the same?
Yeah.
Or is it better to not be like, hey, actor of color, come in and please imitate this white person's work.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Well, yeah, KMR, as
we all know him.
Yeah, exactly.
The Keemstar.
When he was first doing the Hibbert voice, it was a closer imitation, and he did the but yeah, this one was so far different. The laugh was nowhere.
Yeah, I would say that was my biggest problem. Like having that very signature laugh done, so it's like just don't do it. If it's not going to sound the same, please don't.
He's the bartender from Family Guy. He's Jerome. Oh, he is
Exactly.
Yeah. You're a bit late, Deej.
Oh, this is the worst episode of the Family Guy Index ever. How did you keep that from me?
I did not put that together. That is, yeah. He gets around.
It seems like it.
But was there anything else that stood out to you rather than that fucking wild near Berenstain Bears moment of the show gaslighting you? This has always been his voice. What are you talking about?
No. One little thing, like we were talking about, are we just gonna dance around like the whole like Morrissey being racist thing? I was more concerned like, are we gonna dance around like an adult being in an 8-year-old girl's bedroom, like just hanging out? Like it's just like, ew, this is a weird kind of like, it could, like the woke hive mind might see it as like a grooming thing, because everything's
it's very imaginary. Drop Dead Fred.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
I prefer the classic Bogus starring Ted Danson. Yeah.
Nice.
I rewatched Drop Dead Fred the other day, and there is a kiss at the end of it.
Oh my god, there is too!
No,
kind of fucked me up a little bit.
I think it might actually be the best episode of... what is Paul Scheer?
How Did This Get Made?
Yeah, where it's 2v2 on stage debating whether or not Drop Dead Fred sucks. And it might be... I think it's the best episode of their podcast, but it might be one of the greatest podcasts.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's very, very good.
But yeah, just hearing Mantzoukas and Paul Scheer go toe-to-toe on whether Drop Dead Fred sucks or not. Oh, so good.
Who's Crow? I think I've listened to it, but who's...
Mantzoukas is definitely pro.
Yeah.
But then, June Diane Raphael, I think she's against. Might be wrong. It's been a while since I listened to it.
She is a bit of a contrarian, so that would be...
Yeah.
She's also the voice of Raisin a lot of it.
That is also true.
Yeah.
But she's also responsible for some of the most astounding savant moments in the show. Wait, she's talking about BB-8 and she goes, "What is its mission?"
Yeah.
So good.
Brilliant.
In the last episode, it was
and
to
also-
wheel away a
yeah.
animatronic.
Also responsible for one of the greatest questions ever asked in the history of recorded audio. What exactly is a Street Fighter? June, I know you're listening. I love you, baby girl. I love you.
And we still on the
Anytime you
pod.
want to guest.
Has Jason Mantzoukas ever done The Simpsons?
Yes. I don't think Paul Scheer. I don't think
Yeah,
June
I
Diane
feel like
has.
I've
I don't
heard
think
that
they're
voice
famous
somewhere.
enough to have done it, but fuck, that would be good.
Paul Scheer, I could see, like he pops up in like
He
so
does,
many other
as,
shows
yeah,
that
like
he would have.
he would be good as like a bit character,
Yeah,
like anyone from the league, like Nick Kroll and like that whole crew.
Yeah, Kroll's definitely been in.
Yeah.
9/11 guy.
Steve Rezzanini. Yeah.
9/11. Oh, the guy that lied about 9/11. That's right.
Shout out Steve, you fucking king. Oh, so good. It was funny, like thinking about like them fantasizing about this like Smiths reunion. It's just like if this happened, like this is how it would go. And I'm there, like yeah, totally. But then the like evil Kermit next to me is just like, if the Smiths reunited tomorrow, like even if it was just Johnny Marr, Morrissey, and a couple of other guys, you would put all of your savings in and fly over. Like, do not front for 1 second. You have the moral backbone of a jellyfish, you piece of shit. You would absolutely fucking do that. I'm just like,
With no offense to any
Yeah.
jellyfish listeners.
yeah.
Yeah, Kermit said that?
Evil Kermit.
Oh yeah, you don't have a computer, so you don't know about
Yeah.
Adam, I don't even own a TV buncher.
Well, that was the actually interesting thing for me in their depiction, like because obviously they're trying to skirt the truth of the Smith situation to not get sued by Morrissey, who they accuse of suing lots of people in this episode. But to have it as like a Smiths reunion there, where he's saying all this awful shit, fronting them and talking about his new album and. What was it called? Fuck.
Refugees again?
Again.
Amazing.
That got such a huge pop in the room.
It's such a good show. Like, because you want to do the thing where you explicitly say why Morrissey sucks.
Yeah.
And they just wrote the perfect joke to
And
do
that's
that.
literally a perfect parallel for what his next album is going to be called. Like,
Yeah.
in real life. Do you know what it's actually going to be called?
Oh, no.
Go, hit me.
Bonfire of Teenagers. Yeah. Yeah, the title track is about the Ariana Grande, like, shooting, because it happened in Manchester, where he's from.
Yeah.
And, like...
we've really been hankering for his take on the
Right, yeah. And his whole thing is like crashing out over like, oh, we need to fucking persecute Muslims more, like, because the killer, like the guy who did it was apparently Muslim or some shit. And he's just like, and we all sing "Don't Look Back in Anger," but I assure you, I will look back in anger till the day that I die. That if there is just anything that just sums up Morrissey's last 10, 15 years, it's right there.
So that, like, I'm not that caught up on Morrissey news, obviously. Has he turned his back on vegetarianism, or
That was done for comedic effect. He's still very, like...
Well, because the sausage cannon was a very funny bit.
I was
It
about
was,
to say.
yeah. But he has gotten old and fat,
Yeah.
so that is a very accurate description.
Yeah, using the truth.
Depiction was what I was going for.
Can I just say one thing that I...
You just-
Please say many things.
And thank you very much, Adam, for that one.
If we're still in the part where we're talking about, random things that brought delight,
Yeah.
just the way Quillaby was animated.
Right,
He was just constantly doing the movements and,
Yeah, you
and
could
kind
tell
of
they'd watched a
flopping
bunch
around.
of those old Morrissey like Smith's videos as well.
But
Yeah.
the smoothness of it, just from
Yeah.
a technical animation point of view,
It
was
reminds me so much of the This Charming Man video where he's just like gallivanting around with
and
the
it's just
flowers and shit.
The back of the hand to the forehead, and just like he's just so like dandy and floppy the whole time. And
Yeah.
it's really fun to
Yeah,
watch.
it was really
And it
good.
really plays into like that there is a genuine love for that.
Yeah,
And
like
you can
that
hold
era
that
of
in your head
Morrissey,
at
like
the same
holy
time
shit,
as
it's
not
so
wanting to
good.
engage with it. Like it's
Yeah.
So and also like all the outfits that he was wearing and multiple different outfits, all being of the style of the time. That's also like a really fitting tribute when you think
Yeah.
about it.
we all laughed about it and talked about it, but like Martin Prince singing Hall and Oates on the swing by himself, incredible.
Protect Martin
The rest
Prince
of
with
it, like
guns if you have to.
yeah, like stunning.
So Skinner's called in Homer and Marge for a meeting about Lisa, and he's like, oh, this Slapify, it's really, corrupting the youth. Look at it.
Bad setup for a perfect joke.
Excellent cutaway gag.
Could you imagine if that's what brought Daryl Hall and John Oates back together.
The kids love us.
They text each other at the same time, being like, "Did you see The Simpsons?"
Yeah.
Like they stop suing each other. They stop fucking sniping back and forth at one another. They're just like, "Let's be friends again." It like brings them together in like love for
We
Martin
forgot what
Prince.
it meant to be Hall and Oates.
Yes, exactly.
And Martin.
Hall, Oates,
bring
and
them
Prince.
onto
Yeah, there we go.
Anyway, so yeah, the wackiness, the animation. Yeah, I agree with the whole thing about Morrissey, the way he's animated, and it is actually a criticism we've had of New Simpsons in that the animation has gotten a lot more rubbery and a lot more like classic Disney, which is what like early Simpsons was rebelling against. It's like comparatively a pretty static show, but that kind of rubberiness and like really worked for that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it rubberiness. It's still the same physicality, but it's more, flouncy.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, in terms of that as well, the music videos as well, again, not too familiar with the Smiths catalogue. What were the direct references, if any, and the music videos there?
Well, Meat is Murder was the early one, the song.
Yes, the title track to the very good album Meat is Murder.
Yeah.
And
Just all the
like
imagery as well.
like the vibe of the everything is vile except me and possibly like that like
It's kind of an amalgam, wasn't it?
It felt-
started like
it felt a bit like every day is like Sunday.
but the opening was very much
There is a light that never goes out.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Yeah, so you were never into the Smiths.
No, not really.
Yeah, actually that tracks. You have a 5-string bass. Of course you don't listen to the fucking Smiths.
That's a high T alpha.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I was more into trucks.
Yeah, that's it.
And guys with trucks love Tool. They fucking love a bit of Tool, dude.
But
Yeah,
I think
that's
as well,
it.
the one thing they really nailed was just the merchandise and memorabilia of Smith's stuff, like all over the
Totally,
walls.
like the insignia and everything.
And
Yeah,
even there was
yeah,
a
yeah.
little,
the iconography.
yeah, little vegan poster that she had of "We Don't Eat Our Friends." And it was kind of drawn like an '80s cartoon. And it wasn't specifically like an overtly a Smiths reference, but very much in the Smiths fan perks of being a wallflower world. that it was.
Oh yeah, when Lisa
Very
like
whimsical, yeah.
has her room fully decorated, is like, oh, I've been in that goth girl's bedroom. Yeah.
Hey, yo.
I wasn't invited back. But
Save it for the After
Maybe you
Dark
should have
podcast.
fucking learnt your Smiths then.
yeah. Oh, you like Tool, eh? Yeah. No, just count the song with me. It's really good.
Have you seen my truck?
You can't finger a girl in 7/4.
That's an entirely different rhythm method.
Oh my god. We have fun. We have fun.
And yeah, the music videos were nice too. Like the CRT filters and then the grainy black and white. And
Yes,
like
that was
like,
really good.
Overexposure and the color palette. Yeah, all very nice shit. Yeah, still going to have a hard time moving on from that.
I think it's not just in terms of more wacky animation.
If that doesn't make it, like, at least in the bonus scenes, like, I'm gonna be really fucking disappointed.
Did you just say the bonus scenes?
Yeah.
Now it's time for the bonus scenes. End of the
Listen to
episode.
the fucking
I
podcast!
said bonus. I said bonus scenes.
I mean,
Yeah, that's the scenes after the bonus scene.
Oh,
We get into the
Again,
bonus
this
scenes.
is that's the
You have to
index
listen-
after
You have
dark.
to listen to the very, very end. Yeah. It's like a secret track. There's like 30 seconds of silence, and
Why
then
don't podcasts do secret tracks?
and then BT goes, and now stick around for the bonus scenes. And then it get it's like
And
it's
then-
like Big Brother After Dark. Like
Yeah.
oh,
And then you hear a boing.
hey yo,
A wooga.
hey yo. Fuck, that was hot, dude. God damn. I can see the high T is working.
Yeah.
Woo.
Sorry, Nathan, you were saying.
I think they had a lot of fun animating the truck as well. Like
Yes.
every time the truck did anything, it was
Yeah.
fun and wacky or whatever. And that,
Hasn't
Yeah,
been that
it's
good since Canyonero.
yeah.
Oh.
Honestly, that's why I was
Very
wondering.
Canyonero coded.
Yeah.
But like, it was something I was wondering. Why didn't they just do Canyonero? And it was made clear to me. Oh, these are sort of two different things. That
Yeah.
was like Canyonero was that like early sports utility vehicle. Yeah, this is like the fucking Ford F50s, just the ones that do not fit in any car spaces. That just-
Exactly
quote,
toddler height.
Yeah.
It's
quote unquote Yank tanks.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Because there's so many on Australian streets, and fuck, they stand out and look ugly as shit.
And don't fit. Like,
No, but like for anyone who's been to America as well, it's just like incredible how everywhere they are and just how they don't fit either. Like,
Yeah.
it's a wild purchase.
For sure.
But yeah, and I like it is like a commentary on that as well. It's just like, Homer, you aren't this person. Like,
Yeah.
and him doing all like the not that person thing and his idea of what they do.
Yeah, the montage where he gets gravel loaded into the truck,
Yeah.
drives up a mountain, drives back down a mountain, and just has the gravel unloaded.
Yeah.
To pay for that.
Very good. Very good.
But how was the heart of this episode? Did we feel the bumps?
I actually did right at the end when you had Lisa and Marge in the back of the pickup.
That was really nice.
And she just completely understands because
Yeah.
Lisa's like, "Is this what it's like to be a teenager?" Marge being like, "Yep, don't worry, I'm going to be there for you behind every slam door."
Yeah, always be waiting on the other side of the slam door. Yeah, that was like mint. That was
Yeah,
really nice.
that's getting there with like that moaning Lisa line of like, if you want to be sad, and I'll be there with you. Like, yeah, it's good shit.
And a beautiful little suggestion as well, like, because obviously the characters are kind of stuck in time or whatever, but just like this acknowledgement is like, oh, you'll get older and our relationship will change, but I will still always be here. It's like, that's very, very sweet.
And even within Lisa's own, imaginary friend, because before she sees like what was the not Morrissey called? Quillaby. Before she sees him on stage, even then he's ragging on everything at the festival, and she's like, I'm just trying to have a nice day, and he's like, oh, trying to have a nice day, oh, just flounce about and consume things. It's like, even then she's getting a little tired of the shtick that's going on in her own head. Yeah. So kind of realizing I'm kind of just being a jerk about everything now.
Yeah. For no real reason.
Yeah.
Talking about how, like, I used to think this was, like, very specifically targeted to these things that I don't like, but, like, it's just turned into overt cynicism for everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's a phase that, like, legit Smiths fans can relate to.
Yeah.
Because, like, you get into the Smiths, like, generally, like, when you're a teenager. That's been, like, an intergenerational thing. Like, I discovered the Smiths, like, a friend, like, burnt me a couple of their CDs, and I would have been, like, 16, 17 years old? And that's, like, peak of emo as well, like, like The Used and My Chemical Romance and all that stuff. So it's just like this, like, very real but also simultaneously heightened and melodramatic, like, take on just like, I hate everything, everyone hates me, it's me against the world, and like it speaks to you in this really articulate way, but then eventually you kind of grow out of it and you're just like, oh, that's all kind of a little bit bullshit. Like, you still appreciate what it gave you at that age. But at the same time, you get to a point where you're just like, what was I angry about, realistically? I'm just like, you're living with a roof under your head and you live with a doting family that loves you. You go to a good school. You have good, close friendships and all this. No, it's actually me against the world. I'm actually the most oppressed person in the entire world, actually. I'm 16 and everybody hates me. Oh, okay, is that why, like, 10 people that you really care about just had a birthday party with you? It's like shut the fuck up. You're 16. Like, you are not, like, this bludgeoned, world-weary person with a legitimate gripe on your shoulder.
I think it's the experience of growing up, of, like, letting go of the self-focus and allowing other people in and to have the moment which
It's
arrives.
crazy.
Which Morrissey
Lisa-
never did.
Yeah. He's like, what, 55, and he's still going through that phase? Yeah.
If we have any fans listening who are that age, which we don't, just let people love you. It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's all good and well to say, but there are hate laws for everyone except for Morrissey.
And Gracie Abrams.
It's weird they specifically wrote the laws like that. Weird.
This episode
You
got me in
can't
the
talk
heart.
shit about the Morrissey family or the Abrams family.
Sorry, no?
Oh, this just got me in the heart because I was, similar to Deej and similar to all of us, really big into the Smiths. And I think for me it just speaks to I guess more of a broader appreciation of music in general and just how I think Henry Rollins said it best. It's like your record collection is Semper Fi. Like it's never going to let you down unless it turns turns into a racist
Which
fucking...
thankfully has not happened
Never
since.
happened to Morrissey. But I
Or
think...
any other bands I like.
But I think...
New Egghead Fire album, out now.
But the idea of Morrissey being a Drop Dead Fred imaginary character, I think that's handled really beautifully. But at the same time, I just can empathize with the idea of these little... tickets to memories or using the music as a time traveling device.
Yeah.
And to feel that sense of connection, which is what I listen to music for. And I think I just loved having a piece of music adjacent story in The Simpsons that wasn't like, remember what this was like?
Totally.
A stark contrast from the last episode where it's just like, this is hip hop culture, whatever. And it was kind of just wrong and inaccurate, whereas this was treated.
Where were you when Homer Simpson saved hip hop?
Yeah, exactly right.
And grunge.
Well, yeah, because that episode didn't really feel like it was a loving tribute to hip hop as well.
No.
The songs of that era.
Yeah, it was just as cynical as the grunge episode.
It was barely a loving tribute to animatronic robots.
On God! On God, and also for real.
But when I'm a bit ashamed to admit this, but when Morrissey dissolved in Sparkle Dust into the badge and winked, I got the feeling of You Are Lisa Simpson. Like it was.
It's got the sense of you can keep the
that's
things
a
you
good
loved
point,
about
man.
this, but you have the
Yeah.
context of what it is now.
Yeah, like the idea of Lisa having an imaginary friend is pretty heightened. Even for her, I think that's like, even she'd recognize that's a bit delusional, but I think it is like really capturing that idea of like how sometimes, like especially, youth where we tie our identity to a band or artist so fucking closely.
Yeah. So
And-
who was that for you if it wasn't the Smiths?
Oh, Metallica, fucking had my own reckoning with fucking being a Pantera fan,
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That would have been fun.
Yeah. And I mean, even Tool to a certain degree, but like, not that they've gone full cancel, but Maynard's been on Joe Rogan and he dunked bacon in his wine to own the vegans.
Oh,
like,
yeah. So
Which-
epic.
That is very weird because it's like I know you've worked with a bunch of vegans.
Yeah.
Your bass player in A Perfect Circle used to be like a vegan.
Yeah, Paz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but metal famously, like,
Oh, yeah.
pretty hard to reconcile.
Famously unproblematic. All those churches in Norway are still standing.
Can I just pitch to a room full of music experts? Because mine for this would have been Pink Floyd.
Oh,
Are they
interesting.
fucked up at all? Like, I'm not aware of it.
No, Roger Waters is like a good guy now because he's pro-Palestine.
It's true.
Love it.
Yeah.
They're like crotchety old men, I guess.
Yeah, they
but
got
like,
that a little bit. but-
they all fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they can hate each other. That's fine.
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
hate minority groups.
No. I mean,
They're not like,
it's
actually,
like
walls are
the
really good. Let's
classic,
build
like-
more of them.
It's the classic, like, fucking Hollywood thing at the moment. Like, Roger Waters has been accused of anti-Semitism because he's pro-Palestine.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that false equivalence. It's so good. I love that David Draymond from Disturbed is equally as angry with Kanye West for saying I love Hitler as he is for Macklemore saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't bomb babies. It's just like, these two guys are the same person. Love you, Dave. Love your work.
Yeah, but I mean, as well, with any like classic rock and roll, we look back on some of the actions of those people, like, the Led Zeppelins and the Beatles
Yeah.
of the world and go,
Yeah.
oh, that probably wasn't good. And then, all those songs of the 50s. I don't know whose bit it was, but just the whole, ooh, I'm in love with a girl. And
Yeah,
she's
that's
13.
Carl Gordon.
Ooh.
When I was 31, I'm gonna marry that girl. 13 years old.
Yeah.
She was just 13 and my cousin too. Yeah. Gonna marry that girl who's 13 years of age. Woo!
Yeah, like if music stays good, it is actually a rarity.
Yeah.
Another
Nothing
aspect of
gold.
heart.
Nothing gold can stay. Nothing gold can stay.
I think there's heart to
First aid kit,
to
yeah.
be found in the way that Marge treats Homer as well in
Yeah.
his whole truck thing. Like, and in fact, in the treatment of the storyline of Homer's truck thing, like there is still a lot of heart in that. Like, it's just kind of classic.
Yeah. No, and it does feel like it is setting it up to be a Marge-Homer relationship episode, which we've seen a lot.
Oh,
but,
God.
like, I mean, it's only enough as it needs to be, and, like, Marge gets to have the fucking stern
Yeah,
word with
blows
him.
up him a little bit, but not so much that it becomes like a point where they have to, reconcile later, and then just says, I'm going to go take care of a real problem, which is our daughter. It's like, just go Marge.
It's so funny when Bart starts the fight in the truck. And
Just
just
kinda
Homer's
lean-
like, I wish I was married to Bart.
Yeah, just leans up from the back seat and goes, I think it's good that Dad bought the truck.
Excellent scene. It was so good.
And even sitting back reading the book. What was that called? Like
How to Wreak Havoc.
Yeah. But ultimately, did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons? These are characters we know and love. It's just showing
The
up.
first time in a long time, yeah.
We just mentioned a Bart moment that is very Bart.
Yeah.
You said the same thing before. I think like all of the character choices feel like Lisa is searching for independence and kind of recognition that she's smart.
Even like a bit kind of a heartbreak moment early on is when Lisa's raving to Ralph about Morrissey, whatever, and he just goes, Lisa doesn't like it when other people talk, which is heartbreaking, but also shows she's this personality that is primed to be influenced by something.
I didn't like that moment.
I didn't necessarily like it. It hurt a little bit, but I'm like, at least it's a character structure.
Yeah, she has main character syndrome for sure.
But I also think that she is kind of the main character of The Simpsons in a lot of ways. Like I kind of, she is so often
like the moral backbone of a lot of
or audience surrogate in terms of that she's the one who will point out, this is a bit insane, and no one else can kind of realize that. And she's also so often the sympathetic centerpiece in the early seasons. So to me, that was a little bit of a slap too.
But that I kind of, because everyone who, she's the sympathetic centerpiece that everyone wants to think they'd be that person in this reality. You're still susceptible to getting carried away with shit, even if you are like that person. And I like that they give her that moment of, occasionally you can be self-absorbed no matter who you are.
I like that you've softened it for me. Because initially that was a little bit of a sting when I heard
fair.
that.
It's fair, and that's an interpretation of it, certainly not the correct one. Wait. My interpretation was my interpretation of it. I'm not saying that's right. It's all about how you feel outside, viewer, listener. Let people love you.
Oh.
And Elliot, you mentioned like everything was kind of just enough. I feel like that almost stands as how I feel about the episode. It's like it feels like there was not a lot of wasted energy here. Like everything was relatively lean in terms of the things that it was dealing with.
I think we all came into it with crossed arms, just and like feeling the room like loosen and like feeling those arms kind of collectively unfold as the show kind of progressed.
Because both of these episodes, no intro, no couch gag, straight in, and a lot of modern era Simpsons when they do that,
is that like a big thing now?
It is, because it feels like they're not trimming it down. They're just like, this is the script. Editing it will take time. We're not doing that.
There's no chaff in these episodes.
It's all cream.
On the intros, it is so funny because me and Beej recorded an episode with another Simpsons podcast, Murph's Tavern, where he had us on to talk about the Simpsons intro sequence. And like 2 days before he was releasing that podcast, our friend over in the States, The Real Jim, did a big YouTube video breakdown of the Simpsons intro and says like this moment because like he did so much research that we could have had some real data to pull from. But anyway, all this a long way to say that we're on another podcast, and in the 30s, they do the couch gag and intro
long.
I think it's 10 times total. Like every other episode from the 30s is like straight in.
Is that such an iconic part of the show? I can't imagine it without it. Yeah.
But also the era, like the Rick and Morty couch gag era, was a real like, we like
the era that we often feel like did couch gags so you could get YouTube views.
Because without the intro, like, and especially because like modern Simpsons is like missing the interstitial music and stuff. You don't really have the personality of the Simpsons carrying through. What this episode does, like, to buck that is by having the Quillaby soundtrack running through, which Brett McKenzie, fucking great work here.
You can tell, like, that was always one of the good things about Flight of the Conchords, is that they really nailed the pastiches of like the artists that they were like kind of parodying. Like Inner City Pressure is like their love letter to the Pet Shop Boys.
Oh, their Bowie song's still fucking
Did Britt do the Muppets movie
soundtrack
as well?
The two most recent Muppet films. So the Muppets, like the self-titled Muppets film and Muppets Most Wanted. He did the music for both of those and like words and music.
Two Evil Kermit references in one podcast. I love this.
Evil Kermit. Really good. Like nailed that vibe. Like he's just a very good songwriter when he puts his mind to it, and he's got like a good like frame of reference, because know, like he's in his late 40s, early 50s, so like he would have been coming of age at the time when like new wave and like all these like new romantic artists like the Smiths and whoever else were like of prominence. So like that would have been the music of his youth, so he would know exactly how to craft like pastiches of it.
100%.
I think as well. Sorry, I know you might be in the middle of saying something in your podcast, The Simpsons Index, but
But Jack Reilly has something to say.
I just wanted to say, and I've forgotten what I said with that mad gag. No. It was about the first joke in the episode being so good of it's the truck commercial and the university dean or whatever gets like fucking smushed by the truck. And I think it speaks to the whole episode is the idea of commitment and intentionality. I think they really
because they didn't do that in the previous episode we watched.
Nothing was held on to.
Yeah.
No, and just
drags the whale out.
Just
Barrel
so good.
knocks down the wind turbine.
And of course, the secret Shel Silverstein reference.
It pulls out the tree stump, which was the giving tree. There we go.
I was Is that the one that they sit on and like that Abe is like telling the story in like the lemon tree episode? Or
No, the Giving Tree is a very famous children's book. It's quite touching about a tree that gives up everything for others.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
I'm not a reader. I'm on podcasts.
I don't own a
Well,
TV.
if you're not a reader, and if you're not a reader but you like podcasts, you can go to patreon.com/SideQuest Studios, where Elliot and I cover a film written by Shel Silverstein.
That's right, as suggested by one David James Young.
True. Have you guys recorded that yet?
Yeah.
Sick.
Decent movie. David Mamet and Shel Silverstein, Things Change, where Joe Mantegna, the voice of Fat Tony, plays a mobster that's giving someone who's going to prison.
Crazy stretch. What a reach.
So you can check that out now on patreon.com/SideQuest.
Hell yeah, brother.
So different from the movie Baby's Day Out, where he played a mobster who kidnapped a baby.
I'm starting to feel like I'm typecast.
Which is currently on the free feed of Starring Springfield, available now on the podcatcher you're currently listening to.
Yeah, baby.
Oh man, Teresa's making us fucking review Godfather 3 as soon as
Oh, yes!
Also starring Joe Mantegna as
A baker?
damn it, I couldn't think of something.
A candlestick maker?
Yeah. But
Why aren't you getting the candlesticks now?
and so on and so forth.
And so on and so forth. You understand.
Yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
This is actually one where I'm curious to see how it lands on the second time.
I think better, because we won't be sitting there with but when are you going to fuck it up?
Yeah,
'Cause I'm
we'll be
definitely doing
watching with unclenched assholes, which is nice. It's always
I was going to say folded arms, but okay.
Maybe where you shop.
Well, because I don't think the episode certainly started out that way, but we'll get into it now with What Would You Change, Adam?
What I change? Come back to me.
Okay, Nathan.
I think I'd change how, I'd get rid of Slapify, even though it was a good gag when Lisa was making the profile. It's just like, how did you hear about us? Truck.
Yeah.
I thought that was good.
But how do you get her to Quillaby then?
Well, Homer has this new truck.
Yeah.
And he's got to take Lisa out for some kind of errand. And she's really embarrassed to be around him and around this big thing of consumption.
He's listening to a whole bunch of dad rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then while he's doing whatever, she's waiting outside the truck next to a secondhand music store and finds a CD and is drawn to that. I think if it's a discovery.
What's a CD?
Yeah, well, that's true. Whatever.
I'm just rude.
I think if it's a discovery from Lisa, that's nicer and fits into that journey a lot better than, an algorithm gave you this because you said no to everything else. I think, and then the cafeteria scene. But I think the main thing I would change is how she got into.
Yeah. How about you, Jack?
There was one joke that I would get rid of, which was when he dragged the boat from the ocean because that was too similar to the whale gag.
Yeah, that's right. And Captain's like, I didn't want this, and it's like, that was nothing.
I'd get rid of that.
Drag something.
Yeah, that's right. And possibly maybe dragging the Ferris wheel. There was not enough of a payoff there for me.
Yep.
Well, that's when we get the smash cut of Homer waking up to the whole thing, at the height of its ridiculousness.
Yeah, and watching that, I was like, when did Lisa get into a Ferris wheel? But then, the dream reveal.
And then the reveal of the dream sequence. Yeah.
How about you, BT?
Man, nothing jumps immediately in mind. I do want to tighten up that beginning because it's definitely the weakest part of the episode. No specific points, just you can tighten that up a little bit. But this truck stays throughout, so that's good, and it's a means to an end. And if any part of your show is going to be the weakest, intro is fine.
Yeah. Deej?
I would have had more parallels between Homer and Lisa's doubling down on their new personality traits.
Yeah.
As she's like getting more and more cynical. Like he is doing more and more like masculine things, like, you know, and they're both like more comedically going over the top with it. I don't know. It would have been funny to have like a simultaneously he's like really embracing, and he's got like his own like imaginary like George Thorogood next to him or something like that. And anytime he down, you just hear down.
Yeah.
Or even if it was just a joke at the end wherein he'd had an imaginary friend the whole time, and we never saw it.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so when
good.
Lisa's imaginary friend disappears, his like disappears and goes into the truck or something.
Oh yeah, and they both like go off together. It's just like, we're not so different, you and I. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes me think, maybe that's how the quicker way of getting Lisa to find the Snuffs and Quillaby is like, she's trying to listen to Slapify and it's like, it's all Dad's music and his algorithm. Play me the opposite of this. And then it's that sort of shit.
Yeah, that's nice too.
But yeah, because like, especially in that scene where she's going through the music and then the cafeteria, it's just so much of Lisa, blah, blah, blah. Here's the plot of this episode, explaining it so explicitly. And yeah, that cafeteria scene with the mushroom tacos and stuff like that. The joke that was a groaner when we weren't on board with the episode, we were like, I felt like that was when we were like, oh God, is this the way this one's going to go? Where the lunch lady Doris was it is vegan. It's vegetables and bacon. It's vegan.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was pretty rank. Yeah.
PU.
Yeah.
And then saying, am I wrong? It's like,
Yeah. But yeah, and even then with the whole thing with like Barton, Milhouse, and Nelson coming to Lisa's room and making fun of it. I've got a pig nose. Do you want to date me or what? Like,
Yeah, no good. No good. There were some stinky parts in the very beginning. It was emitting a smell to start with.
It was caca.
Yeah.
It was Crackerjack.
It was caca.
The Jack R. Riley rag.
Caca Reilly.
All right, it's time for our final notes. Adam, any other parts from the episode you want to mention before we move on to the
I think
rankings?
it's been pretty comprehensive.
Yep. Nathan.
Same, I think. Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah, they did pretty well. Good on you guys.
Yeah.
All right, Skinner, I have a bunch, naturally. Look, where Marge starts kind of conflicting with Lisa, she's like, look at you, you're wearing black booties. Like, for Marge to call it booties is very funny.
Oh, what was the one
And,
she said
you're
about...
becoming such a pill.
what does she call the music festival? She's out at like a giggy week or something? Fuck, what does she say?
Humpty Doo or something?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, but then...
An outdoor music whoop-de-doo. There we go.
But then the fact that Lisa says, calls her Marge when she's ranting in a room, like, that's a big turn. She never does that. But yeah, without pointing attention to it. Fantastic. And I think we all laughed at, the Quillaby hallucinations, like, oh, I got all old and fat. It's like, oh, look, old musicians do that. Look at Sting. It's like, old Sting is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And he knows it.
And what did he say? Look at my face. It looks like a syphilitic moon.
Yeah.
So good. Jesus.
And just Homer in traffic going, oh, stupid millennial traffic. Just because everything has to be blamed. I thought that was just
that is
perfect.
great. That is great.
Everything I don't like now is blamed on the younger kids. It's perfect.
Very good.
But my main one, really.
Yes.
This is a new contributor to what the fuck color is Lisa's dress? Because they call it a red frock, but you have posted on social media and a majority of people said orange.
Everyone thinks it's orange.
I think it's red.
I've run it through color filters and it's
red.
come back as orange. So
Yeah.
As someone who is red colorblind, it's a red dress.
ditto and ditto.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, you pointed it out, and like where you've run that color filter over it, and like when you take it in that context, it's like here's a reference for Deej, Taz orange, like
Yeah. But I digress.
Yeah. Whoa.
There's surely a screen grab where Lisa is standing next to something more. What the Tomako episode? Does she ever hold a tomato in her hands? Because that's
great
like,
question.
I'm less concerned about, the actual colorization in terms of from various episodes, because I'm sure it varies.
Yeah.
But more people's perception, because it was very interesting to me that the social media and the larger internet said, no, orange.
Yeah.
And that they'd always taken it as that.
But yeah, I think for me, it's just like the show has made so many references to it being a red dress that maybe it's just gaslighted me into thinking that is a shade of red. But no.
She's got the big tomato where she like genetically
yeah.
the big tomato. That's way more red than
it's not the same color as it.
Yeah.
But yeah, weirdly enough, actually, the older episodes, like, because the social media thing sent me down a fucking rabbit hole. A lot of the older episodes, it is redder than it is now. It has been oranged up.
Full red is just too expensive.
Yeah.
Any other notes about this one?
I had two. Do you want the fun one first or the not fun one first?
Oh, let's end on a fun note.
Okay, fantastic. So the not fun one, which was just for me, literally, some things are just for daddy. Some jokes are for kids, some jokes are for dad. You know what I'm saying? So when she is going through like the Slapify things and like, you know, skipping songs that she doesn't like, you might have picked up on this, but probably not.
I think I picked up on you picking up on it.
Right. There is a tiny little snippet of the song This Is Gospel by the band Panic at the Disco. Who are named after the name-taken song Panic, which features the line, they're playing Panic at the Disco, which itself is a reference to the song Panic by the Smiths.
Wow. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's a very elaborate, like, reference within a reference within a reference within a reference. Like,
And you asked it when I read the title before, is that what it's a reference to?
Yep.
And technically, yes. There we go.
Yeah. So, yeah, Panic at the Disco are named, in theory, after a Smith song. Yeah.
Brendan
Don't
Urie
ask them
goes
that.
off on that song. That This Is Gospel song.
Oh, yes, he does. If you love me, let me go.
He's in like full Broadway.
Yeah, like
Urie
real,
mode.
like greatest showman shit.
Yeah, really
yeah,
is.
baby. Yeah, fuck, they were good until they weren't. When literally similar thing with like when literally everyone left the band except him. Like he became the Simpsons. Seasons 9 onwards, like just like very spotty, only occasionally good and mostly dog shit. Yeah, but still carrying on under the same. Wow, Panic at the Disco are the Simpsons. That's gonna be my PhD. Sorry guys, I'm gonna re-enroll at UOW. I'll be right back. And my fun one was one of the punters watching the Snuffs at Bumbershoot is the guy that doesn't know if he's being sarcastic anymore from Hullabalooza. Oh, that's cool. Are you being sarcastic, dude?
Wait.
I don't even know anymore.
Wait, didn't Marge call it Hullabaloo?
What was it? Outdoor music, whoop-de-doo,
Whoop-de-doo.
and the festival itself was called Bumbershoot, which I think...
which is a reference to Bumbershoot, yes.
Oh, okay. I was like...
The banner was like millennial music at boomer prices or something.
Yeah. Good sign.
Pretty good.
There. Quillaby goes, oh my God, I look like Churchill.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah, and that was actually a nice moment with Lisa, like, reconciling and letting Quillaby go. It's like, I'll miss you, you bloody wanker. It's
Yeah,
like,
that was
I think
cute.
that's the most of the word wanker has appeared in a Simpsons episode.
At least since you two were on.
Yeah, true.
I was going to say, wankers.
Wankers. All right, it's time to rank this thing. I'll kick this one off. I'm giving it a solid silver. I'd bump it up to gold, but like I still like that first act was still too shaky ground for me. But solid time. BT.
I mean, pretty much an exact echo of that. A little bit more, and like a gold, but I walked in this room on a silver, and I'm solidified to that.
DJY.
Yes, same. I think... Yeah, the fact that it wasn't a failure is like
Bumps it up a whole lot of grades.
like a miracle. Like sometimes I like overcompensate ranking like albums by like older bands where it's just like, oh well, they're not dead, and it doesn't fucking completely suck donkey dick. Like, so like just the fact that it's not the worst shit I've ever seen, like, is just like a little miracle in and unto itself. So like that honestly bumps it up from the bronze to the silver as well for me. Just the element of surprise.
All right, Jack.
Silver. Yeah, silver in the mic. It's
Nathan.
Yeah, I think I was tossing up between bronze and silver as well. Like, I think maybe... But I think, like, the jokes hit. Like, I laughed a lot. And I think when you zoom out, I think the episode is doing some really lovely things about growth and about liking things. Yeah, it's silver.
And Adam, finish it off. No pressure.
Pretty much snap on everything that Nathan said and everything that we've said previously about why this episode's great. I think it deserves the silver.
All right, unanimous silver. We don't have a finger name for
It
that.
very rarely happens.
No. And, there we go. It'll be the highest ranked episode of season 32 for us.
Hey, look at that!
But other good ones from this season, because there were some. The Last Bar Fighter, actually, that had one person saying a gold. That got a dull silver overall, but that's like, they do John Wick, but it's Mo instead. You wouldn't think, but it's a fun time. Undercover Burns, where Burns wears a David Harbour suit to spy on his employees.
So I'm just thinking about how many of these plot lines are going to sound buck wild.
I know. Icarumbus, which we reviewed with David Malloy the other week.
Yes, where it's the recounting of Roman era stories through The Simpsons.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Like, enjoyed on like a Simpsons Bible stories kind of level. Sure. Yeah. Season 32, not without its flaws, certainly, but not too bad either. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today in SideQuest Studios.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my absolute pleasure.
Half of it was a pleasure, yeah.
Well, glad to have you all along for the whole of it. And, have you got shit to plug? Jack, you got a new album out.
Yeah, I do.
Is it on any cool formats or anything?
Yeah, is it on Slapify?
Yeah, if you say you hate everything, it comes up.
Yeah. So, say I'm an 8-year-old female who heard of streaming service through truck.
Have you listened to the album in a truck?
I haven't listened to it in a truck, but...
Completely different experience.
Yeah, really. You can... I've started doing this thing where you can order vinyl on demand.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe in the show notes I can give you the link to that. So you can purchase After the Parade by Jack O'Reilly on vinyl. You can do it if you wish.
Yeah, and you're doing that TikTok
thing. Did you sing directly into the mic when you were recording the album?
I did.
Hey, look at that!
But breathe away from the mic.
Yeah. Chocolate rain. Oh my god, we are such fucking millennials too.
The first track on the album is called Chocolate Rain.
Yeah.
Seasons right.
The album is called After the Chocolate Parade.
Oh hell yeah, brother! That shit rocks.
And you're doing TikTok now as well. You got a great TikTok account there.
Thanks, mate. I'm doing writing and uploading
Mostly pranks.
Mostly just pranks. Yeah. A lot of
Fail videos.
Epic fails. It's called Catatonic Youths. I'm doing a song, writing and uploading a new song every day. I've been doing it for 14 days.
Wow.
Today is the 15th day. I'm going to do it when I get home.
Ladies times 2.
Yeah. I'm thinking I might stop that when I get to 30 days, but maybe I'll clock onto something really good by then and go viral and be an absolute internet sensation. So here's hoping.
Yep. Links for all that in the show notes. How about you guys?
Nothing from me, man. I'm chilling.
I'm doing a theatre show in a couple of months, so if you're in Sydney, and possibly other cities, but who knows, we'll find out. But it's called Birdsong of Tomorrow. It's like August 18th, second half of August. Yeah, in Sydney. I'll give Elliot a link and you can...
Yeah, and so
at your discretion, include it in the notes. You don't have to, it's fine. But
I will. But yeah, I saw that show in Wollongong last year. Yeah, and absolutely wonderful time. DJY?
Follow me on Instagram at DJYWrites. That's where I hang out and I post videos of gigs that I go to. So if you don't go to gigs, you can live vicariously through me.
1 minute at a time.
Exactly.
It still counts.
It still counts.
My scene live list is just yours, but it's because I watched the videos.
Yeah,
we're all Guinness World Record holders now.
That's right.
Do you know if you appear in the book or?
I've been asked this so many fucking times. I wish I knew.
Yeah.
I want my photo directly next to the guy with the world's longest fingernails.
Yeah.
Where else would they put it?
Is it too much to ask?
And formatted in a way that you're not sure which one is which.
Yes!
Or next to the guy that
like I'm there doing a claw and it's just like right at the bottom. So it's just like, which one of us has the longest fingernails? We'll never tell.
Yeah.
But BT, how about if people want to check out more of our stuff?
It's been done.
Yep. Is that a Bare Naked Ladies reference?
Sure. It's certainly not a Simpsons reference.
No, definitely not.
Show The Simpsons.
Not starring George Harrison.
Yeah, with popular band The Beatles.
Where they, no.
Your uncle. Sorry, you must have heard that joke a million times. We do Starring Springfield as a podcast where we're reviewing the movies that star the cast of The Simpsons.
Not just Joe Mantegna, but other people as well.
Yeah, like your Nancy Cartwrights and Julie Kavner's. And
if you're sitting here and you heard that How Did This Get Made reference, you're like, I love their episode on Teen Witch. Well, we've done Teen Witch as well.
And we disagree with them. That movie fucking sucked.
Top that, though.
Ooh, snap.
Patreon.com/SideQuest Studios.
Patreon.com/SideQuest Studios.
And that about covers it. Thank you once again, guys. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Hey, no worries.
Thank you, Deej.
And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Baby on board. How I've adored that sign on my car's window pane.
'cause I'm driving in the carpool lane.
Boom, boom, boom.
Call me a square friend, I don't care. That little yellow sign can't be ignored. I'm telling you it's mighty nice. Each trip's a trip to paradise with my baby on board.
And thank you, BT.
Shut your gobs, you wankers.
I've been your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. That's all the mustard in the house.
Free Palestine!
Thank you for listening to the Simpsons Index podcast, which is also an online spreadsheet available at thesimpsonsindex.com. We're also on social media. You can follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, and on Threads. Links for all that and more are down in the show notes. Lastly, please consider giving us a 5-star review on the podcasting app of your choice. If you had a podcast, we'd give you a 5-star review. And now please stay tuned for the bonus scenes! And now it's time for the bonus scenes!
Time for the bonus scenes!
Those are great.
Like
Were they-
migrating through. Like
And
they're
tell me
in the
about
heat.
is that a new lifer for you?
No, but I haven't seen it for a couple of years.
Is that a new lifer for you?
No.
So everybody needs to talk in the key
I
and
saw it a couple of years ago.
Probably a bad time to bring up the fact that I'm deaf.
What?
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 Are you guys able to get into the mic a little bit?
Tighter.
Yes, we
Yeah.
can. Yes, we
Get
can.
closer to the microphone.
And maybe less touching of the cupboard for you, Beach.
I'm gonna try.
Or much, much more.
Actually, yeah, you slide over.
Do we all not want to hear from the cupboard?
just think.
Is that...
The cupboard has a say.
You're trying to silence the cupboard,
What does
Elliot?
the cupboard think?
This cable is...
Recent election
Testing,
though.
testing.
Recent election though.
That was great. Man, what a result.
amazing.
And like as if it just wasn't enough that he lost, but he also lost his seat.
I know, it's just so
That I didn't realize until the artist of that T-shirt there, Dave Malloy, told me he'd held it for over 2.5 decades. Just
Yeah.
wonderful.
But I
flew
think,
too high and lost it all. Fuckwit.
All the most recent Liberal leaders have lost their seats. Like
Yeah?
Howard, Abbott, Morrison, Dutton. Like,
John Howard?
Yeah, he lost his seat. That's
I didn't know he still
how he
was
left party.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, sorry, not he
Ah,
was
okay,
election,
that's...
which is just great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
And Clive Palmer got fuck all.
Yeah.
Yay.
Just like fucking short and grilling him on some panel as well. That was good.
No, that's good.
It's just like, oh, great. You wasted everybody's time with billionaires' vanity projects. Like,
Oh yeah, 100%.
yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how Albo fucks it up as well. It's going to be a good...
Oh, yeah, he
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. It's very funny to see that. Yeah. Because all the Greens lost their seats as well.
Yeah.
Which is pretty insane.
Like, good Senate
Yeah.
result for the Greens, but not good in the House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Albo has done a very good job of just like removing climate from the conversation.
I know,
like,
yeah,
it's just not part of
yeah.
climate and Gaza. We don't talk about that anymore
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're not.
Oh, the two biggest issues.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's all about housing.
yeah, but we're not really going to do anything.
We're not going to do anything about it. We're just going to
Yeah,
say
we're
housing.
announcing policies.
But he
that
actually
aren't
grew
gonna
up in
address the
social housing. I don't know if you knew this.
Oh, yeah. And I love Radio Birdman. Good band name. But, you know,
Why doesn't he post his playlist every year like Obama does?
he probably does.
Yeah, he probably would love to.
You know, that's probably Data Rock.
Oh, actually, no. I think he did one year, and fucking like Lime Cordial and Sticky Fingers and shit were on it. If I recall correctly.
So it'd be like Albo easy listening.
Yeah.
It's the best I got.
I'll call it elbow grease.
Better.
Not that he needed help winning this year, apparently, but where was that campaign slogan?
Oh, it needs a bit of elbow grease.
Yep.
I was watching with my niece and nephew Marge the Monorail, and that one actually didn't hit that hard with them.
Right.
But they still love and like have watched again and quote Lisa the Vegetarian all the time. They fucking love the pig flying bit, and they love the bit with the lamb, and like there's just so many bits from that they love. Like the following cars have been broken into. Like
Let me have a look at my notes here.
Or notice.
Shut the fuck up, Jack. That's the worst shit I've ever heard.
How do you say it?
Yeah. Car hole.